So I think they put a lot of pressure on themselves that is not necessarily needed. It wouldn't be a disaster if Big ends up losing this game, but to them, I am pretty sure it would. So Big is probably the guy with the most pressure because they're putting the pressure on themselves, whereas ENCE is fine by just, you know, getting here to a quarterfinal. If they beat Big, that'll be a great result. If they lose, they're going to keep on working on the project in silence, which I kind of admire from this ENCE lineup.
Well, I know that if ENCE don't win this and they go out now, as soon as I see Nati when we get to Pro League, I'm going to give him some abuse and just rub it in on him a little bit.
Sure.
Stab him in just a few more times.
He almost deserves it.
Yeah, exactly. You gotta make sure you put him in his place every now and again. I'm sure he'll be giggling at this, but Big, okay, they talk about the preparation. They've now had this whole day off. They had the time to get ready for it. Surely this is where they should excel the most.
You would think so, but that Mouse Sports game was the one that they probably prepared the least for. But that was their best performance of the entire event, in my opinion. So, and Big, based on how they feel about themselves, like Jacob said, they think they're, you know, a top 5 team in the world when you talk to them. They're a little bit delusional in that regard, which means their scrims must be going gangbusters. They must be absolutely dominating people at home in scrims for them, because why else would they think that? So maybe when they lack preparation, they can just, you know, play loose. That's when they're more comfortable. So maybe this could actually hurt them, surprisingly. Like, I don't even know what to think about this team anymore.
No, it's tough. I feel it's talking about this team is always fun because you never, like, you know what you're gonna get, but you never really know like how much of the stuff you're gonna get. You don't know how much of a smooth you're gonna see this game. You don't know how much of gut B and all the tactics you're gonna see, but you know they're gonna be there. So it's sort of like a package where you have a good idea of what you get, what you omit, but you're not necessarily sure what the quality of the package is. And that's how I would like to phrase this big lineup.
Now, obviously, there was a lot of drama after that Mouse Sports match, right? Because Chris J was pretty tilted. We saw the comments and stuff, and
We even saw JW coming in.
yeah, it was a real heated back and forth. Now, the main thing I see there as being kind of like the overwhelming problem, at least for the big guys, is you've put yourself out there on the firing line, right?
At
so
least
now
we got
you have to deliver.
At least we got 500 euros donated to some sort of charity, right?
It was actually 1,000.
Was it 1,000?
Huh?
Yeah, because Duncan matched him.
Oh, there we go.
Damn.
Yeah.
Oh, big spender Duncan, of course. He's
Yeah.
not here right now, but he just likes to ball out all the
He's
time.
got Skrilla to burn.
I mean, that's the most we can take away from that. I don't feel we need to talk about that. That's, you know, it's cool that players have internal rivalries, and we may need that a little bit, but it has to be in a respectful manner. It has to be in a manner that doesn't make all the guys involved seem like they're a bunch of kids, and that's what I dislike about that situation, basically.
But you like the trash talking a bit? I see
I
people
love it.
saying,
I do.
yeah.
Back in
I
the days
love
when
it.
we were playing, you know,
Yes.
in our young days, we would stand up against each other,
There's a lot
yell
of
to each other's
screaming.
face, and just, you know, have fun with it, and we'll shake our hands after the game and say, well played to whoever won.
Yeah, as long
It's
as
not
it
how it works
stays in
today.
the server, right? That's
Yes,
the main
exactly.
thing. All right, so we're getting to that time. It's time to look at the predictions, and I think this will be a little bit more tough than our first game. So, Pimp, starting with you.
Starting with me, I think ENCE is going to win this one.
Yeah.
I think it's going to go to a third map. I think Train is
Yep.
going to be where it's all going to be decided. I do think Big have the upper hand on Overpass. They should be able to win this one. Seeing by the results and seeing by ENCE playing Overpass, it wasn't that well for them. Whereas for Nuke, I think that's a fine pick for ENCE. I think they're good on the map. They feel confident on the map. Otherwise, you wouldn't go up against Big, who thinks to themselves they're one of the best teams in the world, and Nuke, obviously. Whereas for Train, I think it's gonna favor Alu. It's gonna favor the way that they're playing. Also, ENCE has a lot of stuff to look from. They can look that Mouse Sports game, you know, and look it up and prepare for everything Big was coming with, even the unorthodox style they used in the overtime. So they can't come with any surprises at ENCE, and I think that's why I'm gonna favor to them 2-1.
Okay, Sean.
Yeah, I think I'm going to actually go against Jacob on this one. I'm going with Big here. And if I were to put my CS dot money on this, I would put it on Big, James, where you can go ahead and trade skins and upgrade your skins over at CS dot money. Not just skins, but future.
Oh, I like it. I like
Yes.
it. I might have to do that myself.
But
How
I
much?
agree, though. It's going to go 3 maps.
3 maps.
Yep.
Okay. So far, everyone thinks it's going to go 3 maps. I'm going to go with Big based on just more the experience side of things. Again, believe it's going to go 3 maps. It'll be an interesting game nonetheless, but it's time for us to get into this game and see how it's going to go down. It's Overpass up first. Hugo and Tom, take it away.
Thank you very much, James. And yeah, I think for me, this is definitely the most exciting battle of the day. I think this is going to be a good matchup. ENCE have really come out of the stocks just like running. Just they've been right out of there, blasting their way through all of their opponents. But the fact is, for me, I feel like a lot of the time when you see a team do that in the like early stages, a lot of the time there's a fall off when they get to playoffs. Like I think there was a point even with Astralis back in the day where they go 3-0 and you're like, they're not going to win the tournament now. And it'll be like they'd go 3-1 or 3-2 and you're like, Yeah, this will be the one where they smash it. It was the same even in the major, they went 3-1.
It's the same for underdogs though, right? ENCE definitely coming into this tournament, while they may have had high expectations, like on paper, they were not meant to do this. They were not meant to go 3-0. Like, you could have argued definitely they would have made the playoffs. I was hoping they would as well. Yeah. But them being a surprise definitely helped with this all being best of one Swiss, right? Again, it's very hard to prepare. You don't have a lot of time. The draws are done at the end of the day, and teams kind of go, oh, okay, here's our team. We have like 8 hours, and we got to use all of that for sleeping as well. So not a lot of time to prep, which certainly hurts. Not one of the expected victors of the event, so other teams are prepping for the Mousesports, the Hellraisers, surprisingly 2 teams that got grouped. Yeah. So there's definitely that working out for ENCE. This is the test of their map pool, right? This is the test of the depth and whether they can do it up against a team that has had high highs.
They get a day now. Like, there was obviously the day off, so Big have had a little bit more time to prepare for this team. So yeah, they're definitely going to be looking to see whether or not there will be any sort of counters or just decent setups. I imagine the veto probably went that way a little bit more. I do somewhat agree that this is going to be going to 3 maps. I think it's actually, well, if it's going to be a 2-0, I would actually lean over towards that inside. I think if they can just surprise Big. Yeah, the thing is, though, that's another thing when a team does come out of the groups 3-0, is that the other team is now going to be prepared. Like, I don't think Big are going to go into this underestimating their opponent. I think they'll come in confident, that's for sure. I don't think we've ever seen Big not come into a game confident. But, yeah, I think the other thing to mention as well is that if you look at the sort of performers on Big during the first couple of days, like Tabson really wasn't there at all, and neither was
выиграли. Сегодня, с другой стороны, можно параллель такую провести. Renegades решили удивить Дастом, но с положительной точки зрения этого сделать не удалось.
Оптики показали очень интересный Даст. Парировали практически все решения Renegades, но это уже в прошлом. Начинается карта The Overpass. Удачи командам. Напомним, это только первая карта, так что только-только начинается самое интересное. ENCE BIG.
Ну вот, кстати, не посмотрели бы мы, а было бы интересно, как зрители распределили свои пристрастия этим 2 командам. Ну, окей.
60/40, думаю, где-то так. Все-таки.
А я думаю, что easy for ENCE.
Easy for ENCE, наоборот. Ну ладно. Узнаем об этом попозже. Тем временем мы видим много гранат. Это Тизиан, это Гоби. Ну и довольно-таки медленный выход под базу А.
И это слово, я думаю, появляться будет достаточно часто из наших уст.
Big. We do have a AAA long setup to start things off for the CT side. Big. Lots of utility into this pistol round, as they always do. It's got B and Tizian. So let's see what they've got up their sleeves.
Yeah, it is going to be side trying to make their way on towards Sergey. Now, will they expect the second player in the corner? That's the real question. Now, there's going to be a bit of utility looking to try and section them off, although it doesn't actually work too well. And already, what a fantastic start from the CT side. They've found the first couple of kills. The push is going to be coming in on towards the site. Tabson has managed to bypass the majority of these CT players. The problem is there's a bit of a pincer now coming in. Alexi B already pushing forward. X7 will fall. And actually, the T's may want to try and run their way back in towards the B side. Got B not going to be able to do it, though, as Ariel will decapitate the remaining 2 players. And, well, an excellent pistol round coming in. I think that's another thing. Like, although it wasn't necessarily Natu tweeting it in this manner, he was like, oh, they're talking about jitters. I think that's more him than the team, because it seems all the way through this tournament that his players have been very calm and collected. I think it's a somewhat Finnish thing. I don't think I've ever seen like a almost erratic Finn, like someone who's been like, oh my goodness, I'm so worried about this. It's like, yes, today I'm going to play some Counter-Strike. And it's like all the interviews we've had with Alexi B so far have been like, oh, did you expect to win? Yes. Like that's been it. So they're very calm. I think Natu's a little bit more panicky at home, but I do like genuinely want to see if there'll be a little bit more pressure on them today. Obviously into the playoffs, big tournament for them. Like over on the other side, the Germans, they don't have that same sort of pressure.
Look at this, Tabson. He's liking that new Tech 9 update. He's bought it up. This is the first one I've seen personally, but I'm aware a couple of players from Vega actually bought it in their game against Gambit. So, yes, people starting to move over to that gun maybe on the T side here. I definitely want to see if Tabson can get anything done with it, because again, that you know, it's a little bit better, but it's not the old Tech 9 that we used to know, and I was about to say love, but I don't think we loved that gun.
No,
we just kind of put up with it. Ooh, Smooya. He looks for a pick on long, not going to be able to find it here. ENCE not playing as aggressive as the previous round. Apart from Sergey, he's pushed up on short here on that A bomb site. He's playing anti-flash, ready for any push to come out of the front door of the toilets as well, as Alu is only jump spotting back on long. So Sergey doesn't really have a lot of support here, but Big haven't fully forced. There's only one armored player, so this SMG should be perfect at finding these open kills. Tabson, stick to the CZ. Sergey's already taken him down. And Smooya not going to be going forward to trade this one. Big going to rotate that bomb back up from the connector, and one by one, Sergey starts to pull them apart.
Yeah, I think this man is, I believe is put on Twitter that Config's someone in the running for MVP. I think if there's going to be anybody else, I think this man is definitely up there. Obviously, it depends how much further they go within the tournament, but oh, actually, this is a problem. Oh. Tizian bought. Oh, if he dies, it'll be even worse. But the thing is, it's already bad. Like, it's already bad.
That's not the first time we've seen Alu jump by accident. Do you remember that A-site Mirage clip against Mouse? Where
scroll wheel?
Yeah, scroll wheel, yeah. Finger maybe moving over from the click to the spin. Never fun. But luckily, it won't have any consequences.
It's bad for like most players, but it's even worse if you're an AWPer.
Yeah.
Because like, although like obviously if you jump while you're spraying, it's really bad. At least you have another shot. Whereas if you miss with an AWP, you've got that sort of kickback time, and it can really be painful. Now we're going to see a bit more invested here from the T side. Tizian obviously has the problem that he did actually save by accident. So he doesn't get any money, and has only been left with $300. So
look at that goblin angle from Sergey. Look at that angle. He's positioned so he's got a tiny little gap in through the wall to spot anyone pushing into toilets, while also not offering himself up. Like, he gets so much information from that position while also holding down short. If you look to the right here from Sergey, he can see through that black part of the wall with its connection to the toilet door. That is a goblin angle, and I'm a big fan.
I think that's something you see a lot from like the youngsters, though. Like the talented youngsters always seem to just find things that other people don't. Either way, still next to nothing in this round for the T side. They're just going to be looking to try and do a little bit of damage, while Sergey will be attempting to pad his stats, although he's already being cornered and will actually fall. So a little bit of extra damage done. Ali will be on the site alone. Not known for his rifling, but still doing a pretty good job so far, at least, of cleaning up these remaining players. Will actually fall, and Smooya spamming away. Won't get anything done. It's the Lexi B, the IGL, closing out the round. They are going to look to try and retrieve the remaining rifles, but it looks like at least one or two were lost.
Now here's what we've been waiting for, the rifles from Big. Let's see if they've got anything on this T side. Well, rifles, not full rifles, because Tizian's going to struggle after going down after time. Big's still the favorite here, according to loot.bet, and we're early, so let's see. Again, this is their map pick, so we're hoping for something here. Tizian on a pistol, that's never fun, but let's see if Big can find anything from it. No AWP just yet for either side. ENCE still running that bonus round. They've got one SMG on aerial. Plenty of cash in the coffers to rebuy if Big do get themselves on the board. Smooya's up towards this playground position. Alu pushing through the smoke. Oh, Smooya's setting up a nade. Alu could push through right now and catch him completely off guard, but he actually sneaks instead. Oh, Smooya has no idea. He's going to get blindsided, but Tabson comes up from the back and takes down Alu. That's so important. Great work from Tabson to be holding the back of his teammate. Not allowing that sneak up, and next is 1 HP.
Look at the CT setup at the moment, though. They've just gambled solely on B. Like, you've got the quick rotation available from Alexi B as well, but they've got it spot on, at least from where the push seems to be coming at the moment. Nice flashbang out. That will be right back into a 4v4. Obviously, Tizian doesn't really have too much to play with. And the T's have now got to make the decision whether or not they actually want to gamble back. The fact is, though, the CT side may have sort of misread that. I think the one kill that they found, obviously going aggressive, not spotting out too much else, has maybe given them a bit of a false positive that there's going to be more over towards this A site. Boost will be coming in. X7 not going to take any further risk, but with the clock ticking down, it definitely looks like this is going to be a B hit from Big.
Yeah, luckily enough for Big, there's no utility left on this lower bomb site, so they're not going to be smoked or mollied off. That Molotov on Alexa B going to be rotating back down, and ENCE finally realized this is that B play after all. They're both flashed, everyone's blind. Next gets the kill, but look at the damage done to the side of Big. Considering the time's low as well, even though the frags are coming through, this is certainly winnable for ENCE if they can stop this bomb from going down, and Alexa B has taken another kill to make it even more difficult. It's just Aerial in a 1v1, and Next has exactly 1 point of HP. Aerial will win that fight. 4 kills in the pit with a UMP, the 1 SMG for the team, and he gets it all done.
I genuinely think he might have done about 60 damage there to get all 4 of those kills, because every single person got tagged. Like, I think Tizian had 9 HP. I think it was Nex had 1.
Yep.
Then I think Smooya was on about 30, so that's where the majority came from. And then there was someone else like God B also had about 7 HP. So genuinely didn't do that much damage, but obviously it's so important to trade those kills back. Either way, we're going to have a problem once again for this T side. Don't have too much invested into this one. Just purchased up the pistols. They'll get the max loss bonus into the next round. Now, Alu, we're still yet to see his trusty AWP. He's going to go for an SMG into this one, and it's a bit of a dicey battle, but he wins it nonetheless.
Yeah, there's no point pulling an AWP up against pistols, because if you lose that round, if the pistols overwhelm you, it's very hard to kill multiple players up close, and that's exactly what Big are trying to do on these kind of eco rounds. So ENCE playing things safe at least. That AWP should come through next round. I mean, it's very possible that they're just waiting for Alu to die, because you might not want to rebuy after all, and ENCE should be 5-0 up after this round, although Tizian's starting to make things interesting. He's killed Alu on that long flank through the connector. A bit of a dink onto the A site as well from Big, but it will only go so far, because now we're starting to see these Ts fall apart. Only 2 left up for the T side, and ENCE are just holding on to this site, not over-facing. I like this setup, but all 3 of them are watching long right now, so they have to be careful. That nade's nice, but again, you can't expect too much to come out from Big in this round.
Yeah, the bomb position is absolutely horrific. It bounced up on towards the site. Ooh. No shot from Smooya will at least be able to take down 1. He's very low on HP, however, and well, it's going to be X7 and Alexi B to just close things out. So still 3 players survive. Obviously, only really, I think, an SMG and a rifle lost. Alu can now purchase the AWP if he so desires, which I would be quite surprised if he didn't. And, well, there it is, straight away. Smooya will also be able to get his in play and drops the head armor. He's able to get a lot of utility because of it.
One thing that's nice that we kind of commend ENCE for on their T side is their ability to slow down and kind of regroup and make sure they know they're all on the same page after finding a pick or losing a player, for example. It's nice to see that the same on the CT side there, right? They're not over-facing on the site. They're just playing safe, making sure they have you know, all the guarantee to win that round and not letting Big get in their face or force kills with the Deagles. So ENCE playing very slow in that anti-eco war result and then pulling all these guns forward. And now look at this aggression from God B. It's going to be into a 4-man setup on B, and 2 players close as well. Sergey spotted. Will they get aggressive? The flash is over the top. God B's not blind, and he's going to run back anyway. He sees 2. I like that as well. The wallbang comes out from Alexa B to try and catch off God B's retreat. And although it doesn't find a kill, a lot of damage has been done. That nade, the same story. So he's down to 20 health. Nex is trying to fire on back with his utility, and while it does find some success, Big have still yet to get a pick. Very focused outside of this B site for the time being, but again, these heavy stacks from ENCE early on in the round. They've got 3 now. They are falling back, maybe setting up for more of a retake play with Big going for these smokes.
They've dedicated Alexi B a bit more to the site, but yeah, they're not taking too many aggressive faces here. They're trying to use the boost up. And again, it's a situation where they've done a lot of damage, but they're yet to find any frags. X7 will be able to find one. Alexi B around the barrels has to be careful, and is actually going to peek back in and through the smoke, manages to find another. It's a nice hold on the B side once again from the CT side. And while God B's so low, I think it's down to just Smooya to try and make the play here. God B, though, will be able to find 1. Ooh. Actually gets the second as well. I would prove myself wrong. That's fine with me. It is left into X7, the only one anywhere near the site, but look at the time. They have to go for something here. They need to get that plant down, while X7 is just managing to avoid all of these players. Nice shot from Smooya, though. He will be able to get the bomb down with seconds to spare, and God B, 3 HP, 3 kills. Why not?
He is saving the day there for Big. I mean, an unlikely hero, as you said, given the health left on him. That is ridiculous. God B's been massively improved in the last few months from an individual perspective as well on this team. We've been seeing him top frag a number of games, which in the past I don't think he was ever commended for, right? He's always been the big brain, but never really the big fragger. But now he's actually been showing up recently.
Now he's just the big B.
Yeah, nice to see. again, ENCE still have money, but unfortunately for them, they lose that AWP investment after the first round, and they don't have a huge amount of cash, right? They're only getting $1,400 loss bonus off of that. So, you know, some players will be okay. Well, actually, one player will be. That's Aerial. Everyone else is kind of on the edge of things. So I'll be interested to see what the decision is here from ENCE. We've got players on 2,500 in this round, so yeah, it's really not the best situation. That's why we're seeing this short break. ENCE want to try and bounce back off of this, and if they do force here, if they do win this round, which I would imagine they would buy into, they can reset big, because only 2 players are surviving in that previous for the Germans.
I will say as well, and another thing that's always been quite prominent with this big roster is that a lot of the time they do put Smooya and Godby together when it's on like site defenses, and they do seem to play very well off each other. Whether it is Godby setting up Smooya or the other way around, they just seem to have great synergy. So yeah, brilliant clutch from them. I think that was a 4v2, so mistakes made obviously by ENCE, but at the same time props have to be given. AWP has been dropped into the hands of Alu, so he'll be given the space to play in this round. Hasn't had the best of starts with that AWP, and Smooya is on the other side, which is always one of the win factors a lot of the time when it comes to this big side, is that you need this man to step up. The one Brit within the sea of Germans, and Walt, he is going to start things off with the kill onto Alu. A great start into this round, and with a minute left on the clock, they have plenty of time to try and force this through.
Very ready for that angle as well. Bit of an off position to take with an AWP, just towards that connector, but nice spot from Smooya. Problem is, again, ENCE, they were relying on that AWP. They are severely under-equipped for this round. No real utility left. 2 smokes and an HE with some flashbangs. But no kits. Only 1 M4 in this entire buy. The only positive is there's only 30 seconds left, and that's why ENCE are getting aggressive. If they can get in the face of big and keep them from getting close to this site, this could certainly be a round for ENCE. Nice flashbang. Does Smooya check things? Sergey's mouse go crazy, and he'll look up in the sky. Smooya gets a kill as a result. The next 7 can only find a single frag. Aerial is too far away to stop this party of big as they take over this A-bomb site. Tizian's even spotted the flank, and Aerial, he's run. He's gone.
What on earth just happened?
That sucks for Sergey, man. I hate it when mice bug like that.
Yeah, wow. I don't know what mouse he uses, but don't buy that one. I don't think we have any sponsors for peripherals anyway.
Well,
so
maybe ENCE do, so you might have just, you know.
It's not my problem, is it? Just maybe lost them around.
Potentially,
Is it worth it? That's the question. But yeah, don't buy that mouse.
That's a conversion for big as well, with 4 players alive. Definitely a round that they kind of needed, right? That could have been a complete turnaround. Oh, that's very close. A complete turnaround for ENCE, and if they won that round on the CT side, they would have broken Big's economy, who only kept 2 players alive. Now it's double that, 4 on the T side. 3 kills from Smooya in the round as well. Definitely him coming to life to open up this game. And that's important, right? Because, again, if Smooya starts off badly, it's very likely that, you know, it's very hard to come back from that. A very emotional player, I think you could say. So good to see him at least kicking off on a good start.
Yeah, kicking off in a good way.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
But either way, we are going to have an aggressive push in towards middle from the CT side. Smooya on the other side. He's only got 1 shot to take, so he's going to be overwhelmed. That's an AWP into the hands of Alu as well, which is not really the man you want to be having this weapon. Although, in all honesty, he probably should just save it. The remaining players over on the CT side can go for a little bit more aggression. Sergey does actually hit a dink onto Tabson, and the thing is, a lot of the time, like, the dink may not actually play that much of a part in the round, but it can mean that Tabson's not going to hunt as much, not be as aggressive, because he is fearful that he might hand an AK into their hands as well, which not really going to be any better.
Don't be silly, Tom.
Now they do have Alexi B just waiting around the corner. Doesn't manage to connect any shots, and Alu, that flashbang is so perfect. Leaves him completely blind. Tabson will in fact take the last few kills of the round. And it is now going to be right back in this for Big. Now, there should be a purchase coming into this one. However, there won't be an AWP. There won't be a lot of utility. And it will be a somewhat bare-bones buy coming in from the CT side, unless they're going to go for more of an investment in towards those SMGs. Oh, by the looks of things, yeah. A little bit of a tactical pause. Definitely understandable early on in this map. We expect quite a lot to come out from the CT side of Big. Obviously, this is their map choice and one they are expected to win. So, in all reality, you don't want to give them anything here. You don't want to give them a chance to build up money. You don't want to give them a chance to streak these rounds together. And in terms of cash, at least, Big are doing fairly well early on in this matchup.
The only worrying thing is, again, like fairly good map pool for both teams in this best of 3, but this is a map that ENCE don't really play a lot. Like, while they have some success on it, it's not one of their most played maps, like Mirage or Train, for example. So to see this come through is definitely favorable for Big. Whereas on the second map, Nuke, that's far more of an equal ground in the sense of, yes, ENCE are very good at it, but Big have no fear of playing Nuke at all. So there's always that to be worried about if you are ENCE. Rifles into this one, and Big, again, a fast play up towards this B bomb site. ENCE love going for these quad stacks early on into the round because they know it's so easy to go for a B rush, but you rarely see a fast A play, and even if you do, ENCE are going to have the information. You can check long from the back of A site, you can have a fairly good sight towards short and toilets, so you can call for rotates, whereas B is far easier to overwhelm quickly into the round, and that's what Tizian tries to do. He's bursted through. They know he's here. We should be seeing ENCE flash their way in, but oh, he just burst through at the right time. A 1-for-1 for Tizian, and that's a shot through the smoke from Nex up on short. That's opened up this site now for Big. There may still be 2 players here for the side of ENCE, but things are starting to get hot and heavy. Big are all over this one. Good utility usage in response, but no kills are coming through. Finally, Alu dropping another player, but he's traded instantly, and Sergey's all that remains. Ooh. With 9 HP and 2 kills to his name, it's a 1v1 versus Smooya, the young gun of each team up against each other, and oh, Sergey's going to find it. That's even an AWP dropped on top of that. What a fantastic clutch from Sergey.
Yeah, they're just so low on HP, and to find 3 players as they try to finish off this round. Obviously, Smooya at the end with an AWP. I didn't really expect him to win that one, I'll be honest. But the fact is that's a massive round to come out of nowhere. The problem is, though, for the CT side, 1 player stays alive. Their money is not going to be good going into this round. The T-Sat come back right away with a big buy. They've got the AWP. They have utility. They have the AKs. And they now have a good chance to just reset ENCE once again. So the pressure definitely isn't off. Of course, Alu's actually able to get that AWP. I believe that will have been dropped over, probably saved from the previous round. So at least that's something. But at the same time, it still leaves a lot of limitations, like a couple of umps.
Triple boost up on B, though. Look at this. I'm not sure who that is over the top, but they are checking long. They're getting a lot of information from that. CX7 has full view of where Tizian's about to position, and this could be a free kill. Or Tizian's backing up into his own demise, and little does he know, X7 is above. Nice frag from ENCE to start things off. You rarely see that, because it's very, very hard to commit 3 players to short. But hey, ENCE have been going for these quad stacks, and yeah, that's Tizian's face after that death. I don't blame him. Alu needs to be aware of how aggressive tabseN is on long, and if he gets flashed in from Smooya, this could be a dangerous attack.
Moving forward, Alexi B seems a little bit slow to react, and actually he's taken 2 kills in towards the site. Alu, the only defender as the rotation looks to come in, and while he's been wrecked by the Molotov and forced out of spot. Back in from X7. Done quite a lot of damage onto tabseN, but he still remains around the angle, and the Molotov will force these players back. Got B with another headshot to turn this into a 4v2. And again, it's the same scenario for the CT side. They're doing damage to these players. They're just not winning any of the duels. Finally, one of them will go their way, but Alu's already gone, and Ariel is just going to have to join his teammate. It is a bounce back from Big.
The problem is there for ENCE is they double jump spotted long, and they got a false positive that it was clear. Little did they know, tabseN was so pushed down that they actually couldn't see him from that jump spot. He was close to that right wall. So that's why we didn't see Ariel turn around, because 2 seconds ago he spotted long and there was no one there. So even though he doesn't hear the footsteps from tabseN, he's just thinking, oh, long's okay, I don't have to worry about that. Focus on the toilets for now. But no, Big are going to be able to overwhelm it. And all on the back of tabseN. Great flashbang to pop him in, and a nice couple of kills to make it work. 6-4 now for ENCE. But Big are slowly encroaching on their heels. That's a reset after that 1 round from Sergey, the clutch on the B bomb site. And because he was the only player surviving, here's why we have the lack of money that we do. Alu's saving, as he's got that AWP still brought forward, and everyone else on pistols. Big, looking to maybe speed up the pace here.
Yeah, right into that B site they go, and while Alu has got a hell of a lot to do, already he's dead within the first few seconds. The pistols will try and do a bit of damage, but the fact is They're so far out of this round already. The AWP dropped on the site and the remaining players with not too much to try and fight back with. It looks like Big have risen to the occasion after losing 5 rounds in a row at the beginning of this map. They're about to get their 5th on the board as well.
If you're ENCE, you probably just want to save. Like, I understand holding these exit positions to stop Big from getting aggressive, maybe grab some rifles. I like that from Next, or as you out the map. But yeah, you don't need to challenge there. You don't need to try and retake, because this round is over. Big have definitely won this, and if you're ENCE, you have another eco coming up anyway, so hold on to these pistols. Just use them in the next round. You're going to get that loss bonus start to build up here on the CT side. But for now, Big, yeah, an impressive display on this T side in the past few rounds. We may have had a nice early lead for the finish. Oh, that's awkward. X7 goes down after oh, it goes down to the bomb. He didn't have armor as well, so that bomb chunks way more than if you actually do have armor. But yeah, despite ENCE's early start to this map, Big has certainly bounced back in a good fashion. So lots of money now being built up for the T's as well. And one more eco, but because Alu saved his money in the previous, he's going to be able to buy that AWP into the next round. And he needs to start winning some duels versus Smooya, because right now, this is all Big.
Yeah, Big just running away with it at the moment. Still ENCE in the lead for now, but well, I say for now because I don't think that's going to be lasting very long. They're going to try and throw in another boost, and well, it's always Tizian. He's always the one, but he actually survives this time. Alexi B looks like he's going to go running to try and find that trade, and I imagine he'll be able to get it, which is something. Knows the next is coming, but got B was still a surprise. Tizian's just the unlucky. Well, I wanted to say duckling, but that's not the story, is it?
Yeah, they don't quite call it the unlucky duckling, so maybe not. Big almost just walked straight into B there. They're going to reconsider now, maybe expecting the stack. And again, after the triple boost, you know, very perplexing why you would just walk straight into a site when you know ENCE have deconstructed that boost and therefore may have 3 players still here. That isn't the case though. Sergey's alone defending the toilets. Big are just taking their time. Setting up utility, few nades left up, still plenty of time. They will be walking back in towards B later in the round, in fact, so waiting for ENCE to maybe readjust his setup, maybe rotate a player off. But they're going to hold for the time being. I feel like in this round, I wouldn't be surprised if ENCE just, you know, I'd like to see them just rotate Sergey down or rotate these 2 players up, just commit towards a site, because you need all 3 players hitting their shots if you're going to win this round. Otherwise, it's probably just going to be a mop-up, and that's exactly what it will be for Big. The site opened with ease, and the round closed just like that.
Yeah, Sergey will at least try and do a bit of damage onto the T side, try and reduce the amount of money that they already have building up. There's quite a bit of cash in the bank at the moment for the T side, and it's only going to get bigger if they keep these 3 players alive. Smooya will take a shot, but returns in suit as Sergey hits the deck, and it will be 6 and 6. CT side can purchase once again, and Alu has saved money. Obviously, having that AWP in one of the rounds definitely helped to bring in extra cash here. Hasn't had the best game so far with the AWP. I think that actually he's been doing better when he hasn't had it in hand. So definitely looking for a bit more of a step up from him, especially as a counter to Smooya, because Smooya has been very good so far.
Yeah, 11 and 7 right now. Top of the board alongside Tabson. And those are the players you want, right? These are the guys stepping up that you need for Big, and they've done it early as well. Alu's here with the AWP. Tabson on the other side. And only 1 player here, so definitely a chance for Alu to get an early pick, but he doesn't want to stick around that position for too long, because you get very exposed. The longer you wait, the more chance that not only T's can come up the connector, but they can wrap playground, and things can just get a lot more difficult. Big again, setting players up on B. Aerial spotted Smooya there, so he knows this AWP is around the B site, and that's why he's backed off, because this can be a very dangerous fight to take. 1 shot potential with the AWP. Aerial doesn't quite have the same luxury, and Smooya, he's creeping in. He's looking for the pick, misses the shot, just flicks a little bit off to the right, expecting the wide peek, but ENCE get away with that. They've got some information. The flash goes down on long once again. Aerial won't see anything from it. And in fact, Big are actually backing off here. They don't want the B site anymore.
Yeah, still got plenty of time. The rotations on this map, not particularly long, although they will go all the way through spawn, which takes a fair bit of extra time. Alu and Sergey in a little bit of a bait and switch, with Alu looking to try and take that first shot and leave his young partner with some distracted T's. Next going to be peeking the angle. Shot will be missed. He's still just waiting in the corner, but he was spotted. wasn't hidden enough. He's been caught out a couple of times now, and Alu is now going to be the man left to defend. He misses the shot. Alexi B, though, he won't. He finds a couple of kills alongside X7, and the rest of them look like they've stepped up. Tabson is left all alone. And look at the time. 10 seconds left on the clock. He's got to go running back for that bomb. I don't even think he has time to plant the bomb anyway. He would just have to run straight back, and Alexi B is ready and waiting. It's been a good performance from him, that's for sure. But a little bit quieter from the men we expect to be the stars.
Yeah, right. That's unfortunate. They go down straight away. Luckily enough, it is traded, and that's down to this constant probing on the B site. We're continually seeing ENCE peek out onto short, flash away into long, try and play for this information on CT overpass, which is so valuable, because if you get B short, for example, to CT, you can do exactly what they did. Fast rotate up that connector, get behind Big as they're going for the execute, and just win around based on that. So despite the 5-on-3 that Big initially have, it's instantly traded back thanks to the aggression.
We will have, again, this same situation for the CT side, where they managed to win themselves around, but the reset is looming. And they do have some limitations in their purchase here. Again, we see a FAMAS and a UMP. Now, we've still got this AWP in onto Alu, although it's a pretty costly weapon to have in play, considering the level of impact that's been there for it so far. Again, we have Sergey still looking to try and aggress over towards this short/toilets position, but the fact is he's not been doing particularly well with it too far. Again, I feel like a lot of the frags that we've seen from him have more been in eco situations. There was the one play over on the B site where he managed to get 3 kills, but other than that, he's been fairly quiet, which is again a worrying prospect for ENCE, as he is the man who's been leading the charge throughout this tournament so far. Obviously the highest rated player in the whole tournament. Smuya boosted over the smoke. Now, he's pretty much won this battle versus Alu every single time, and Sergey is going to be caught out completely. The aggression he's been throwing in has been failing almost every single time. He's left with just a little bit of help. And well, he's going to go for the peek. He manages to still find one. 25 seconds left on the clock. Alexi B is well placed, and he's doing amazingly well. A double on the site, and again, the clock ticks low. It doesn't matter. Alu will close it. And wow, Alexi B, he's giving himself a little bit of a run in this tournament. 15-8 for the IGL. What is it with IGLs in this tournament so far?
It doesn't make any sense. Leading the team, leading the scoreboard, he's doing it all. It is a consistent thing to see this entire event. I don't know why, but I'm absolutely loving it. The thing is, he has been one of those standout players on this team as well. While you have the typical stars like Alu and Sergey, Alexi B, I would say, is in that 3rd best spot. He does frag a lot, but this is an important time for him to be showing up. 15 kills for the man himself. 8-6 for ENCE, bigger back to basics, and that means this B bomb site. They don't have a lot of utility, so it does make a lot of sense as well, just trying to throw a couple of smokes in to cut off those CT positions. And one little smoke that ENCE have been using when Big go for this B site, I quite like, is a close barrel smoke that cuts off the position from barrels to pillar. That can be a horrible angle for the CTs. Playing in that kind of pit water position. So throwing that close smoke that I hope we'll see again from ENCE if Big go for this execute gives ENCE a lot more room on this B-bomb site. So Big spotted again on short. Alexi B playing this information game. And will ENCE decide to rotate down, or do they get aggressive on A? For now, Alu going to begin to move down through the lower site, and GotB just flash straight out. Again, the flashbang is good for Aerial. He gets away with 1 kill. GotB is traded, and they have just overrun this site. ENCE have not been prepared for the push. Massive entries from GotB. Now just Alu and Sergey left up.
And then we'll go in onto the site, and we'll do a bit of damage once again. Alu trying to push his way around, although GotB is holding the angle. Nice no-scope through the wall. Already manages to bring it back into a 2 versus 2. Sergey rotating in, picks off another, but it's the trade back from Tizian into the 1 versus 1. A crucial round to end the half, as it will be the peek in from Alu, but he misses the shot, and Tizian will be there to put him down. It's as close as it can get in this first half, and now Big moving into the CT side of their map choice. I feel like they'll be feeling pretty confident.
Yeah, 7 rounds on the T side is fantastic, but we will be bringing you that second half in just a second after this commercial break.
We're back from the dead. We're back from the dead.
Hell yeah.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is as close as it can possibly get after the first half as an 8-7 scoreline ensues as we move into Big's CT side. Now, 5-0 start for ENCE quickly diminished after 6 of the next 7 rounds went the way of Big. And now we get to witness whether or not they are going to pull off the full turnaround and take us to Nuke with map advantage. I wouldn't be overly surprised. I'm pretty sure that's what the desk predicted as well, that this first map should be going the way of Big. And, well, yeah, then we head into Nuke, which, of course, is Hugo's favorite map.
I don't know why you say that. I like Nuke. I don't
you're weird.
I like watching it. I don't like playing it. I wouldn't like to observe it.
Okay. Oh, no, I think...
But watching it is fun when you have good players and know what they're doing. It can be a bit of a mess with the map, but, yeah, fun map. However, this one definitely is exciting too. ENCE in the lead, but only just considering they've played the CT side. Big have done a fantastic job of showing us what they've got on this terrorist half. And Tabson, he may get caught out here because it's a fast connector play. They're running up, so they check the corner, yes, but Ali's already lost his head in the meantime. Aerial with a quick trade. And grabs himself a USP to try and encroach on this A bomb site where God-B sits alone. He's calling for that fast B rotate, but he couldn't be more dead. Sergey with a double dink off the back of the Glock, and Tizian in the corner gets jumped on, pounded here by Aerial. Again, it's equal trade to Big, pulling it back to the 2v2. And look at this push-up from X7 to cut off this B rotation.
Yeah, this is going to make things very difficult, although if they do have Heaven control, it could be a bit difficult to actually cross over to the side. I like this, going back around through Monster just to try and make sure that he can't be picked off on the cross. It seems like there's a decent idea, and Nex is just going nuclear in this pistol round. He's found himself 3, and Alexi B won't stop him either. 4 kills. You can see the coach going nuts as well, and I don't blame him. That's a brilliant round from Nex.
Yeah, that's insane that he actually checks that spot as well. Very aware of the possibility that X7 could have pushed up. And I like that from ENCE, actually. It's kind of like a reverse, you know, play on what you usually see, which is like the fast long push down connector towards that B site. Instead, ENCE go connector up to A to force the rotate off of B, only to sneak a player in. But unfortunately for him, it doesn't work out. Nex is 1 step ahead and 4 kills ahead, in fact, as well in that pistol. Now we have pistols for the finish. CZ's P250 and a Deagle or 2. Big, obviously, on that second round buy. It's never great as a CT side. They've got 1 rifle on Nex, but everyone else, well, 1 M4, everyone else is kind of unequipped in that sense, but they're still better off than that of these T players. A slow crawl up towards this A site for now, though, for ENCE. And Tabson, he's alone in the toilets. He's got God-B on the site to join him here with the MP9. And in fact, we are going to see a bit of a rotate as well from Nex back up towards this A bomb site.
Yeah, it seems like, at least for now, the T's have a fairly decent read. God-B going to be looking to push a little bit more aggressive, get that MP9 into a more valuable position. Of course, they only got a couple of rifles here, so those pistols still have a decent chance. We're not seeing a Tech 9 this time either. It's just going to be the more trusty pistols, the Deags, the CZs, and alongside that a P250. As of yet, we're not really seeing too much. A little bit of aggression coming out from Smooya as well, just to make sure that they can't actually double back. And while God-B just waiting in this corner could be absolutely crucial in this round, he won't actually really be needed as the rest of his team just clean things up without too much trouble. Big take themselves the lead, keep that one relatively clean as well, and now the T's have no choice but to eco.
Yeah, Big aren't able to save that M4 in the corner, but it's not a big worry. And so, as you said, just going in for a Glock round here, and we shouldn't see too much investment. Alu, I'm interested to see whether he's going to be able to get that AWP next round, because the money is going to be a bit of a problem. He might have, you know, a glass cannon AWP, but on the T side, that's always a risk. We'll see if they get a bomb plant. Maybe he can buy out some armor alongside that. He will be able to, but easier said than done when you're on a full Glock round. I don't think Big are going to give you a bomb plant here. Tabson needs to be careful because they could just charge with the smoke. They have nothing to lose. The smoke's not even good, but Tabson's shot is better. That's still a trade for ENCE. Damage being done here from the rifle of God B. He's starting to pick them apart, but they fire back off. This should not be around that ENCE have any sense in winning, and Next will make it so with 4 kills again. But yeah, that definitely got a bit worrying.
Yeah, and they even do a little bit of extra damage. I don't believe that he managed to retrieve that rifle. Of course, the 4 kills that he got with the SMG somewhat make up for it. $2,400 right into the bank of Big, courtesy of Next. And I believe that, well, if you include that in the pistol round, he's got at least 8 kills over the last few. So skyrocketing himself right up the scoreboard. But now we will have the purchase in. Double AWP set up right away. Tabson going to be picking up the secondary and going for that aggressive peek in towards middle. Not going to spot anything just yet, but takes a bit more of an aggressive angle than I imagine these Ts will be used to seeing. They're going to be thrown out as well. Now that will give away his position. Flashbang. I mean, he has to fall back, and actually Alexi B with the aggression is going to force him down already. Now there is an AWP on the floor. CT side in the meantime going to take some aggression over towards short B. It's going to be Tizian pushing forward. Now, you can see the passive position from X7 ready and waiting, but it looks like the Ts are going to look to try and challenge long instead. Now, Next is going to want to try and get nice and close. This MP9 at range is pretty much useless. He has Godby to try and support him, but around the corner they go. He finds one, nothing more, and Godby tries to trade it. The nade may do the trick as it dunks right on towards Ariel's head. However, it's still going to be a 3v2. Alu peeks again. He catches himself jumping. He needs to fix that. Still manages to get away with a kill anyway. Now Smooya's left 1v3 without much hope.
Alu, get a new mouse, my man. This cannot afford to happen. This is 3 times in 2 maps. A crucial point. Smooya, he's going to be caught out of position there. The AWP will be saved after all. They don't take that one from Tabson. They just go into the site instead. So ENCE do upgrade. That's always great. Alu's now going to be on that AWP if he can stand still or stand up. Big, though. Look at the money of them, Tom. They won 3 rounds in a row, and still they've been crushed. And that's a lot to do with not only did 2 rounds in a row, they failed to save one of the M4s that they had, but also ENCE got a lot of damage. Think about that pistol round in the previous where they got 2 kills with Glocks, and even the one before that, a couple more kills. This has really hurt Big's money. And while Next, yeah, he's got plenty of cash. He's been fragging off. And Tizian has a little bit as well to spare. That's why Big will be going for 1 eco. Next can drop a gun to Smooya or Tabson in the upcoming round, and they'll be able to buy up. So only 1 eco needed. A bit of a flashbang. I like that as well. Lands on top of the wood. Allows Big to get aggressive. But unfortunately, apart from the fact that they get a lot of information that this part of the map is clear, if ENCE speed up the pace and try and take this A bomb site, they're going to have everything for themselves. The only question is, do Big commit to the flank here? No. Because that could have been worrying. If ENCE stayed in this playground for long enough and Big flanked through the T-spawn, they could have backstabbed them. Instead, Big are going to fully rotate, which is a good call. And certainly looking committed to this A site. If you wanted to go for an early information A play and eventually drop down B, you would typically put someone outside Monster or B short, but right now ENCE are looking like they're going to walk into this stack. And while I don't think Big will win this round with the pistols, they can certainly get a few kills.
Yeah, they have a real chance to do a hell of a lot of damage here in a 5-man setup over on the A site. Well, this could definitely be a problem. Now, there's a lot of utility still in for the ENCE side, and they have been pretty proficient at using it. Question is, if they do send somebody in, will they maybe just find out very quickly that the stack is in play, push through? Godby just going to be held on the close angle. Already Next manages the opener. I could see this one very easily going wrong, actually, but the last couple of kills have maybe changed my mind a little bit. Alexi B with the openers, and he's just cleaning things up. It's left all onto Smooya. Does manage 1, and there's a second very, very low. But in the end, they do clean things up. Still a little bit too close for comfort when it comes to what was just a minute eco coming in from the CT side. And in the next round, well, as you said, they have the opportunity to drop some weapons over and actually go for a purchase. Ooh, maybe not.
Okay, yeah, interesting. I assume that with the extra money on Tizian and Next, they would go for the buy. But hey, if Big want that AWP, that double orb that they had already shown to run, I'm not against this. I'm not against the double eco. Let ENCE get slightly in the lead, but as long as Big have a nice game plan for that next round, then things should not be a worry for the time being. But yeah, ENCE have started off this T side very well, considering they lost the pistol and conversion. So about to be their third round in a row, assuming Big don't upset. And let's not pretend that that's not a possibility here. Big got very, very close, as you said, in that previous round to even picking it up. Even though they didn't get a lot of kills, that stack could have meant something for Big. And now they've got armor behind it, and everyone's on CZs rather than a couple of USPs. This is slightly dangerous. That being said, as long as ENCE count their cards right and don't rush into a bomb site, they should be fine. Unless it's A, because only Tabson sits here. They've quad stacked that B bomb site. Tabson already down and out, and with that, pretty much the round guaranteed. Big can go for this and just try and pick up damage, because again, they're buying next round, or they can save the armor. It doesn't matter which. They're for now going to hunt down a 7, but he finds 2 kills before that comes through. And Smooya should definitely just save this AK.
Yeah, not really too much value in hunting these remaining players. Now, you do have to say that the T side are yet to build up a huge amount of cash, so even just dropping an extra player here for Big could even make things a little bit more interesting. The money saved as well, including the Kevlar, can actually be very valuable for Smooya. Obviously, the loss bonus going to be in with 2,400. He won't be able to buy himself an AWP, but he could make things a bit cheaper for Nex or Tizian, who is likely to throw one over into his hands. Obviously, Nex as well, looking to try and save things here. Of course.
Why?
Perfect hand placement.
You looked, though, didn't you?
No. Looked at what? Ah.
20 kills for Nex, in fact. He's having a great game. Again, he did get 8 in the first, I think he got 9, actually, because he got 1 on the second. So he got, 9 or 10 kills in the first 3 rounds of this half, which, yeah, that's definitely helped. But always nice to see. 11 to 10 here for ENCE. Now this is where the pressure really ramps up for the finish, because Big are back on guns with a double AWP. They've gone for 2 ecos just to afford this buy, so it better be worthwhile for Big. Alu's been tagged down early with the bit of utility that Big have thrown out up on this A bomb site, so that's going to make things slightly easier to get rid of the AWP for ENCE. Got Nex up on long alone. Actually, no, I think that's actually got B, rather. Is he boosting someone up? There is a boost somewhere, because there's 2 players stacked up. I only see 4 on the minimap. Is there someone on Gobby's head? There's got to be someone on Gobby's head.
Yeah, I would imagine it'd be Smooya, maybe?
Yeah.
Oh, no, it's Tabson. Tabson with the AWP. Didn't manage to find anything as of yet. Smoke going to be thrown in over towards this. Again, they do have a heavier stack on towards this position. Tabson going to go running in. A risky play to make, and he's almost punished for it. In fact, he will be in the end. Alexi B again managing to find the opener for this T side, and while the rest of them are going to look to execute in on towards that long spot, there is a big defense here. Got B taking some damage, but he has support from Nex, who's been excellent in the last few rounds. In fact, he's carrying it on. He's got 3 kills in this round. Smooya's there to close it, but it's Nex with, again, a brilliant round from him. He's currently sat with, what, 23 kills now? And the T's, well, they have enough to purchase into this one. The CTs will have no trouble.
Really good smoke from Big there. They don't do the traditional deep short smoke or close toilet smoke. They throw it in between toilets and short to kind of cut it off by the flower bed. That allows Gobby to play inside the toilets and get kills in the toilets while also not being exposed to players pushing up short. You see, I think it was Ariel tried to kill Gobby by wrapping short, but Nex just has the angle onto him because he's on the back of the site instead. So that's a really nice way of kind of sectioning off that A bomb site and taking toilet fights without being exposed to being wrapped from behind, because your teammates have got your back covered. So yeah, good setup from Big. Not seen that smoke there before or anyone kind of play around that. So again, Big still coming up with cool ways of taking fights on this A bomb site. And it's going to work out on winning them around as well. 11-11, 3 alive in that round. And as you said, this buy can come back from ENCE. So it's not a huge worry here. And if they find the reset, things can definitely go wrong here for Big, considering how much money they've been putting into these double AWPs. And apparently ENCE maybe speeding up the pace. You've got Alexa B charging down towards his B short position. But a Molotov will cut him off. And Nex will push into position, which makes things even more dangerous down here in B.
Aggressive, and he's already going to be removed. The man who's been the star of the last few rounds, caught out early with the aggression, and you can see the T's have ENCE are just going to slow things right down, not look to go for any further fights as of yet. Smooya with some support on this B side, definitely not alone, and Tizian just trying to use the headshot angle to be a little bit dirty. May even look to try and re-aggress here, desperately wanting to try and find something back into this round. I imagine he's waiting for some sort of flashbang to be thrown in, and there it is, but it won't matter. Alexibi gets the second entry as well, looking for the push back. Smooya missing a shot. I think he's going to get caught out here. The rest of the players looking to push in. Nice shot at least onto X7, and he's managed to dive through the smoke. Alu on the other side. The spray coming back in, they know where he is. Already, though, they're going to remove tabs, and Smooya needing the ace here. He hits the leg shot, but nothing more, at least for now. A couple of low players, and he's trying to span through. He's actually dropped the bomb there, but Sergey is eventually going to finish. 12-11. The costly setup now comes to bite this CT side.
Alexibi is still top of the scoreboard here for ENCE. He's been holding that on since the first half, not dropped out of that spot. 22 kills on the IGL of ENCE. And that's a big reset to find as well for the T side. That is, yeah, okay. I'm not agreeing with those odds. So if you don't either, go over to Loopback, because ENCE are in the lead right now. It's 12-11. It's a hard reset to Big. The money has been removed. I want to know what Big had put into this round, though. Did they force it up? No, they went for this flat eco. They very commonly do. This is ENCE's opportunity to close out the game here. One more rifle round for Big before ENCE are really going to be up to that 14-15 mark. So things are looking very, very good here for the finish. And considering this is Big's map pick, this is one that every single person on the desk predicted Big to win. Everyone predicted, I think, a 1-1 split. With Nuke being that follow-up map, let's not pretend that Big can't win that, but ENCE are in a very good spot considering that. So Smooya tagged up early on. Mainly USPs here for Big as well. This angle from Smooya is good because he's going to see the legs of the players coming towards him before they see his head. So he gets a good chance to do some damage, but on 15 HP, chances are you're not going to get too much from this spot. In fact, he realizes that as well. He's going to reposition towards the connector, and Sergey takes that fight. Easy kill for him. ENCE are encroaching on this B bomb site, but with Alexibi throwing in a bit of a fake, this is going to keep 4 players from Big up here.
They've got B, same position as before, and this time it will be checked for. Nice shot from Nex, at least will be able to keep his top fragging legacy there for now as he kills the man who was joined with him. Tabson looking to try and do some damage. Does actually find the ding onto X7, and they can at least look to reduce the amount of economy that this T side have. Not wanting to allow them to have 4 players surviving in this one. Tizian has at least retrieved himself a Mac 10. Now, although in most scenarios this weapon not very valuable, here if he can get a kill, if he can get an extra $600, that would be definitely worthwhile. Unfortunately, Aerial is more than ready, and it's left all onto Nex. Just hoping that somebody hands him up a kill on the exit. Shouldn't really be happening, and Aerial will even peek into the angle and finish him off anyway. It's not going to be the best of buys in this round for Big, however, but it will be a buy nonetheless.
Yeah, that double up is no longer going to be a factor, but at least Tizian can drop one over to Smooya. 24 kills for Nex, man. He is really going for it here, but they're going to need some serious heroics to bounce back from this round, because again, as we've said, this is the last buy from Big before ENCE hit 14, and then potentially 15, depending on how Big choose to invest, because next round they're only going to have 2-round loss bonus, 3-round loss bonus, sorry, so $2,400 plus whatever they have saved, which is right now nothing. So kills really do make the difference in terms of getting a little bit more money. I'm expecting a Big lose this round. They eco the next. Again, considering how close they are to 15, that they could play for that OT spot with another 4 rounds. But yeah, they would rather just not be in that position, rather just win this rifle round, take a 12th, keep things as close as they can get. This bomb spotting B early, but rotating back up long, and that's exactly where Alexibi has found himself. There is only 2 players with head armor for Big, so this could be a very, very nice push from Alexibi if he can find some quick kills. Got B flashing in. Next, potentially going for this peak. He only jump spots, but here comes the utility for ENCE.
Already going to force Nex back off the angle. Tabson will be there to get the opener, but Alu's very quick to trade, and while Tabson falls Nex, again with a lot to do, left in the corner as his teammates fall all around him, and you almost have to wonder if it's worth going back towards the B side at this point. They do have a lot of control. Nice shot from Aerial will pretty much put this one to bed as Tizian, left with 15 HP, is going to try and get himself back in here. Alu has also switched over to the rifle just to make sure that there's no chance for Tizian in this scenario. Looking like the 14-11 is on the board.
And ENCE just have all their bases covered in that round. Let's compare that to Big going for the A executes in the first half. When they did that, do you remember that CT round where ENCE just flanked Connector instantly, came up and killed all the big players from behind despite being in a 3-on-5? In that round, we had X7 playing late party. So when Big rotated back up that Connector from the B site, again, they've been so aggressive on short, X7 kills Smooya, he takes the attention away, and therefore ENCE can just focus on killing the players that rotated through CT. So nice to see ENCE watching that flank, making sure that... Oh, okay. Ali didn't know he could not survive there. But nice to see ENCE at least covering their back line, not allowing Big to go for those long flanks, and that will win them the round. 13 now gone 14, and this is a horrible position to be in if you are Big.
Yeah, they have the AWP. They've handed that over to Smooya. The loss bonus will be at 2,900 in the next round. But still not a good position to be in. They'll be left in a bit of trouble. They're going to hope that Smooya can somewhat save them here, but it's looking like the T's are going to pick up the pace and go running in towards that B side. There's already 4 players here, however, so they've got to be a little bit careful. It does seem like wherever ENCE go, Big are prepared. However, they have slowed things down a little bit here. Aggression as well from Smooya. He is alone over on the other side of the map. So although they may be pushing into the stacked of the two, they have avoided that AWP at least for now. Boost will be in. We saw this in the previous. I think, was that headshot through the wall?
Yeah, it must have been. I've never seen 96 damage from a Deagle shot.
But that's just unfortunate.
Yeah, right? That hurts.
Alu going to be left on 4 HP. Not been the best of games for him, but luckily his IGL, Alexi B, is still leading the pack. Only man in front of him is Nex, who has been excellent so far. Bit quiet from Sergey. I think we've come to expect an awful lot from him. And on the other side, well, Smooya's leveled out. Nex is actually the one leading the charge, and we haven't really seen anything from tabseN in a little while.
It's been quiet on the CT side. Again, we haven't had a lot of buy rounds from Big. The couple of times they have with maybe those double orbs, tabseN's been caught through smokes or retreating. You know, he got killed up on A party, got killed while trying to re-peek on A short. But look at this speed from ENCE. They're just charging this B bomb site and got B. He's taking a frag.
Not going too well at the moment for ENCE. The full force of the CT side is here, and while a risky plant from X7, he does not have much HP to survive here. Will be able to get it down. Looking for a little bit more, manages to kill onto Nex as well. Alexi B gonna go pushing, but it doesn't matter. X7 has just cleaned up everything. He was low on HP. I believe he started all those battles with 22 HP, and he finished them with that as well. 15-11, ENCE 1 round away from taking their opponent's map pick. Then they go into their choice of nuke. And while spoke about how well they did in that initial stage, it looks like they're coming into the playoffs with a similar mentality.
That's a huge play to make from X7 as well, because again, Ali was 4 HP in that post plant, and you know, if X7 goes down, chances are Big win that retake even with pistols. Really nice to see some confidence in the ENCE camp there, despite the lack of health. Smooya back in this position once again. He's actually got support as well. Nex has moved in to be short as Tizian defends long alone, and that could be a horrible position to defend defense versus B bomb site, but they actually will long rotate back. I wonder if Smooya can hear these rotations. I'm not sure about that. He may get a bit of information from that, because Tizian's already started to back off of that B site, and tabseN's ready watching the connector.
He's got to be careful though, because they are going to go rotating back. Obviously, he's got God be ready and watching long if they do go through that angle, which he's got a FAMAS, so I don't really expect him to win any duels here already. tabseN going to be missing that opening shot and will be smoked off, and they're going to go down in towards long and actually takes a chunk off of Aerial, who has been good over the last few rounds. He's currently sat 20 and 15 on the scoreboard. Well, they are just going to sneak their way through long. They've got to be careful because tabseN's around the corner, and that's the bomb.
Oh, no.
That's a solo peek with a bomb. That's a mistake from Aerial. Alexi B has gone pushing in towards the site, but Tabson's trying to make a play. X7 and Sergey, however, have managed to find a couple back, but they got 30 seconds. They got to get that bomb. They got to go fighting for it. They need to get rid of Tabson here. X7, is he going to be caught with a nade in hand? Yes, he is. No. And now, while the clock ticking down, they have to just steal this bomb away and then go running in towards the site.
And look at Tizian's position. He may not be performing so well this game, but he's in a spot to win big the round, keep them in this map. He's close up, the smoke allows for the cross, but Tizian can still dive through. 7 seconds left. He's going to start creeping around the back. This plant, it needs to come in right now. It's too late. They can't plant, they can't win the round.
Can the T's at least finish off these remaining players? That will be the silver lining, but definite mistakes made there. That aggressive peek with the bomb pretty much threw the round away.
And too late to block. They had time on that side. There was 7 seconds when Ajude got into position, but he waited until 3, and by that point, Bigger won the round by default. Oh. Coming down to the wire here, Big are going to be saved by the bell. 12 rounds. Still 3 more to make this an OT game, but, I mean, ENCE have got to be kicking themselves after losing that one.
Yeah, the thing is, though, only one man surviving once again for the CT side, so they will have a dwindling purchase into this one. They should be able to get some armor over onto Tabson if he does want to keep that AWP in play. But the fact is, you can't. Like, I almost hope that he stays glass cannon in a way, just so we can actually drop a weapon over. Obviously, ENCE still with plenty of cash after a 4-round win streak. But at the same time, it's not enough that they can continue to buy into the next few rounds. If they lose this next one, they're going to be in real trouble as well. But just look at the purchase. This is after winning a round. There is 3 SMGs, a FAMAS, and then the AWP that was saved. So definite problems here already, though. X7, a little bit of damage done, but, well, pretty much exactly the same traded onto Smooya. Push will be coming in through middle, but there is Tabson once again. He's taken up this AWP mantle, got B up close, finds another with the MP7. X7 is going to get wrecked as well. I don't know what's just happened over the last few rounds. Something's changed. Got B now just wrecking Sergey. And Ariel somehow left in a 1v5. It's a flawless round from Big. Clearly the SMG is more underrated than thought.
This is exactly what they're saying on the desk when they play versus Mousesports in that OT game. They got to the point on train where Big were just scrimming it. They were just going for crazy individual plays, pushes down Ivy, taking A main control. And now we just see the same thing from Big. Complete craziness. Individual fights coming through. Godby rushes long with an AWP through a smoke. I mean, if you're ENCE, you can't predict that. And now look at the buy. It's awful. They've half-bought. They're trying to save for that 15-14 scoreline while also having a bit of a skin in this round to give it a go. But this may now be doable for Big thanks to that insane individual round. Tabson has also kicked this one off. Alu, who's been having a bit of a mare as of late, bottom of the scoreboard for his team. And he goes down straight away, so already a man advantage taken for Big, and it doesn't get much easier than this with ENCE under-equipped. They will retrieve that rifle from Alu, but Godby and Tabson are the AWPers right now. I'd love to know why that is.
Got Beast.
Yeah.
He's going to be left. I think they both got AWPs over on that A side as well, which is a little bit of a worry. Oh. Especially with these pistols in play. You're always going to be a little bit skeptical. Flashbang will give the opportunity for Godby to take some control, and when he's hitting his shots, Tabson and Godby, you don't normally see 2 AWPs in these sort of positions, but it has worked wonderfully and left X7 all alone. Godby! Oh. Smooya who? Like, that's ridiculous. Godby has just gone, look, little man,
I've had enough.
Yeah, like, you don't get an AWP anymore. It's like you're still being punished by your dad, and he's just gone like, here we go. I'm gonna show you how it's done.
Godby has whipped out the belt.
Okay.
15-14 here for ENCE. And here we go. Here's the buy. They do have it. They do have that save in the previous round, a couple of $1,000s a player. Able to fully afford enough here. The AWP is on Alu. That's a nice nade from Tabson. That could really connect. Oh, but Alu peaks ahead of time, and he only loses 3 points of health for the kill there. Big have lost one of the most important players, the second performer for their team. And this is not a good start. Smooya, he's now back on that AWP over Godby. And let's see if he can make a play, because he's pushed up on short, trying to cut off this monster push. ENCE are set up for what will be a late B play after lurking through that connector, and Smooya's definitely aware of the possibility here as he keeps his eyes on it. Sergey down the end of the hallway. Oh, but he's just going to miss the timing. It's Tizian as well, moving away from that B tunnel as they start to push up on short. Smooya has no support. Smooya doesn't have a teammate here. Tizian is not peeking aggressively, and Sergey's done a lot of damage. It has been traded back, but will Smooya escape? They just let him get back to the site. But X7 wallbangs him. That was from the back of B. That was back from far, far away, and he's going to be able to take down that AWP.
Already a problem. Tizian needing to step up. He's got the support of Nex, who does manage to pick off one. Nade may even finish off another. It's going to be close, but in fact, Sergey just about survives. Nice shot from Tizian, though. Gets a second as well, looking for more in towards this side, but Alexi B puts down Goppy, and it's left all onto Tizian. He finds all of them. It's going to overtime. This man was quiet throughout the map, but he picks up 4.
The bottom in the server winning the 1v2, 4K on that B bomb site. What an incredible clutch from Tizian. Oh my God. I have no words. This game is everything that we expected and more, Tom.
Well, if we do have any overtime statistics, now will be the time to throw them up on the screen, because I genuinely don't know where this goes now, because it's got to be demoralizing if you're on that ENCE side, because you had everything in your control. You were sat there 15 to 11, you had the buy, they had SMGs, like you pretty much had everything set up, and they just, well, in this round as well, 4v2, Next gets 1 kill, or I think it may even be less than that, maybe even 5v2, and then there's just this from Tizian.
Oh my God, look at this one tap, look at this one tap.
God, I just got wrecked. Alu got absolutely wrecked, and he has been for the last few rounds, in fact. Still bottom of the board for his team. We're into overtime. Me and you haven't casted many overtimes throughout this tournament. They've mainly gone to Harry and Vendetta, so I'm excited.
Yeah, and what a game to have it as well. This one was so equal down the middle of all the quarterfinals. This was the one where people have had the hardest time predicting, okay, what the hell is actually going to happen? Which big shows up? Are ENCE a one-trick wonder? Are they just a best-of-1 hero team? Or can they show it in these best of 3s? Well, they're showing it now, but Big are level pegging. This is coming down to the wire as we head into OT number 1. And Smooya, he feels no fear. He's pushed all the way up on Monster. Oh, he hears it. Right side shot going to go down well, and his teammate re-peeks to help him out. Next with a second frag. ENCE are crumbling here in the first round of overtime. Sergey, will he be able to trade things out after he pushes in through this connector? Smooya's not done with 1.
Yeah, Nex has been excellent in this game so far. Oh, goodbye, Smooya. You didn't even get to see the man who killed you. Straight through the wall. Still the man advantage sticks for Big, as the rest of the players have fallen back to the site. 50 seconds left on the clock, and it is looking like a B play. And there's plenty of defense here for Big at the moment. Already Tabson will pick off 1, as the push now looks to come through that monster spot. But surely this has to be around for the German side.
Yeah, 30 seconds left. 3 players watching Monster right now. Nice jump from Alu. Oh, his teammate gets a second kill as well. There's only a single man on the bomb site, but it is Tabson, and he has been a bit of a beast on this site before. 1 frag needed, and 1 bullet will land. That's great from Tabson. Nice shutdown on the B-bomb site. Again, money isn't the biggest problem when it comes to overtime, especially not with Big picking up that first round.
Yeah, I think as well we're playing this 16K, so unless you're buying auto snipers, which some people have. What was the name of it? It was
the Doom Hammer.
The Doom Hammer.
Let's see if that comes out later. But for now, 16 to 15. ENCE, second buy coming through here. Alu's going to be cut off with a molly, but he goes right through it. Actually uses a smoke to try and help his teammate get in position quickly. Making sure that Big don't push up into the party, and they haven't for now. There's a boost on top of Godby's head, I think. No, there's 2 players down on B instead. So Godby's alone here on long. Up in the toilets as well. This is a very dangerous position to be in on your own, but a lot of weight on his shoulders as he's got to watch that long and short cross. Tabson spotted it. They bait peek and they walk in together. Tabson finds 2. Bomb dropped out in the open. Tabson, does he realize that Ariel's pushed up so close? It doesn't matter. He's fallen back. He wants nothing more to do with this. Godby is still behind enemy lines on that bomb as well. And Smooya killed down towards B, but Tabson very, very close to Ariel. He cannot afford to double scope here. Oh.
Tabson has just come into his own over the last few rounds with this AWP. Definitely see why he's been bringing it into play. And, well, Alu and X7 looking to try and turn the tide once again. We do have Tabson just sat around that bomb. A little bit of aggression. Look at the long flank now coming in from Godby. He's looking to try and clear all these remaining angles. The push from X7, though, coming back up the stairs from behind. It definitely seems like Tizian is aware of the potential, will be ready and waiting and wins that battle, an important one at that. Tabson's still aggressing and, well, trying to bait out his opponent. Hasn't been able to find Alu just yet, but I don't see there being much hope here. Even takes a bit of damage from Godby and was even going to go for the knife. It's 17-15 in favor of Big as they win both rounds of OT so far. And while they may be able to keep it as a clean sweep.
Oh, this is the confidence from Big now. This is them starting to feel it here, Tom.
Those odds have not changed since the beginning of the map.
Really?
So I feel like they may not be right.
We can check ourselves. But yeah, this is still ridiculous regardless. Big 1 round away from going flawless in this overtime, and that would only set them up for success. It was an 8-7 half for ENCE on their CT side. Oh no, the top fragger of ENCE is already down and out. Godby's got an aggressive, and Alexa running through a Molotov while flashed is not going to be able to get that kill. ENCE setting up for a fast B play.
Here we go. Right in towards the site they go, but it's Smooya now on the AWP. They've got to be careful again because there's still another man over towards this short spot. Next, looking for the taps, but he actually gives away his position instead, so they should now know. Alu as well, managing to find another. The Molotov going onto the site just to try and deny any sort of plant, at least for the moment. But again, there's a man lurking in the back lines in the form of X7. Molotov will force Nex out of position, and it comes close to him going down, left on just 18 HP. Maybe ENCE will be able to take their first round, but, well, it's still looking difficult. Godby's done a lot of damage, and Nex now needs to pull off a low HP clutch.
Aerial high in the sky with 3 kills this round, saving the day for his team. 4 in the end as he wins out that final fight. 16 for ENCE in well, half of overtime, I guess. So they get 1 eventually. Could have been far worse. Big definitely looked far more confident in that overtime than they have in the entirety of the rest of the game. So I think ENCE are probably very, very pleased with just 1 round there, even though they could have hoped for more considering how strong their T-side was. I mean, that was those last few rounds of regulation plus those first 2 rounds of overtime were Big, just absolutely styling ENCE. And now you've got to wonder how much more will that continue into Big's T-side here, especially when they're going to be the ones trying to open up the pitch.
Well, slight pause. A moment given between the halves as we do now look to switch back. Now, obviously, after a long CT half, sometimes going back onto that T side can be a little bit difficult. Also, you could say the opposite, though. If you have been playing the aggressor, now looking to try and be a little bit more defensive, a little bit more passive, can be very difficult. Obviously, the man of the hour in the form of Tabs, I believe he's now top of the board for his team. Him and Nex both on 29 kills apiece. Alexi B 1 behind with 28. But the fact is, as many will know, once it gets to overtime, the statistics no longer matter. The only thing that matters is that scoreboard.
Right now it's favoring Big, who are looking to go aggressively into this B site. ENCE ran quad B setup so often in the early rounds of this CT half, but the 1 round that Big actually set up outside of B, ENCE only have 3 players there. Luckily enough, Big aren't looking to commit right off the bat, so ENCE will have time to react and rotate if needed. Tizian is close up short, the man who actually pulled us to overtime in a 1v2. I think it was a 1v3 maybe. I'm not sure, but it was a ridiculous clutch regardless.
Well, Godby died without doing anything, so it was basically a 1v4.
Yeah. I'll give it to him. He's giving it to ENCE right now, but into this round, Big are very, very slow on the approach. The bomb has wrapped out from what was originally a monster push to now going up on this A bomb site. Big keep control down towards this B side of the map, just making sure that ENCE don't get aggressive, because again, these connector rotates from ENCE on the CT side have been very strong. We've seen Big lose rounds from that before. Although it has been a long, long time since ENCE have been on the CT side.
The problem is now with the sort of utility usage coming out from the CT side, there's only 30 seconds left on the clock, and Alu still has a full set of utility, so does Sergey. So the switch back up over towards this A side of the map may actually be punishing. They're going to get down to the 20-second marker now. If Alu wants to, he can just throw in all of his utility to try and slow them down here, and that's exactly what he's doing. He's still got a little bit left. to just try and expend. And we're getting right down to the mark here. There's only 10 seconds left on the clock, and the CT side have just not moved in here. We're waiting patiently to see what they'll do, and Alu and Sergey, surely they've done enough here. The bomb's not going down, and it is going to be another round on the board for ENCE. Nothing that the guys at Big can do.
Ooh, Tabson. I mean, he does make it costly. Not the biggest factor, though, in overtime.
Yeah, no, it makes no difference.
Yeah, with ENCE winning the first round. That's the thing. If you win the first round of overtime, you could lose every player, every gun. Doesn't matter. You're fine for the last two. If you lose the first, that's when things can get difficult. Because look at Smooya. He's already down to $3,000. Luckily, again, buying AWPs, you know, his teammate can bail them out. They can drop them over. So
I think it only really matters on the CT side.
Yeah,
like, the T side can pretty much get away with it.
And not really on a 16K MR3.
No.
17-17 here. The number we're looking for is 19. If it goes 18-18, we go to another overtime. Aerial, ooh. He gets tagged very early on. In fact, Alexa B, he's been dropped down on that B bomb site as well. Not sure where that came from.
I think he was in heaven. So I think there must have been some sort of shot from Smooya in towards heaven, and he's managed to sneak by, but he was given an opportunity. Doesn't manage to take it. Luckily, God B's just gone walking into the B site, and, well, it really is the God B site at the moment, as now the CT side are somewhat out of this one. Of course, for Sergey and Alu, there's not really any point in saving. They may as well go for something in this round, try and find a way back into things. Now, Sergey definitely hasn't been the star performer that we expect from him, and Smooya is going to put him down. Alu left, 1v5. I can't say I'm in any way a believer here, and while he's already going to miss the first shot, this is just a mess of a battle, and Tizian will thankfully end it fast. 18-17, big map point. After being 4 rounds down at one point, 15-11 was the scoreline in favor of ENCE. A chance to steal their opponent's map pick and move into Nuke with an advantage. They now sit...
Yeah, those are wrong, by the way.
Yeah, those odds have come up like 6 times. They've been exactly the same. So
yeah, we've already checked. They're definitely not right. But yeah, you can still head over and bet regardless on the live odds if needed. Double up on the T side here. Hey, I'm in full support. Remember that couple of rounds that God B played with the AWP? He was just absolutely going for it on that CT half. So no worries as we see him pick up one of those AWPs. And to again put only 3 players down on this P-bomb site. That's more than enough, though. Tizian, he's gone right in. No support here, no teammates, just getting information. Trying to force out maybe some Molotovs from ENCE. We see him a lot abuse that monster position. However, you know, previously in the initial CT half, ENCE, they were flashing monster, getting aggressive, trying to peek. Now they just seem scared. They're turtling within the site. The pressure's really got to them as we reach a point where no one wants to give away this first pick, but instead they'll take it away. Alexa B dropping God B down on that B site. And there's a second one from Aerial as well. He's ready to pull this to a second overtime, but Big, they're up all the way long, and ENCE have no idea.
Yeah, to sneak through, but if you look at the CT side setup, it may not be too bad for it. They can quickly just turn around, and if they want to go for an open plant back towards middle, they're going to have some trouble. Alu already managing to put down another, and well, I believe some noise will have been made by Nex. Gee, though, Sergey's going to miss the opportunity, and Nex, if he can get this kill onto Alu, there's a chance, but Alu will spin around and finish him off. It's left all onto Smooya, and he can't clutch this one out. It is going to be a second overtime. Looking like Big had that one dead to rights, but in the end, the CT side managed to turn it.
Double overtime, Tom, in the first map here. This is getting as intense or more intense than we expected. The pressure really is ramping up for both these teams. And again, this is Big's map pick. So again, you know, they can take it, but it's still a little bit of a worry of how close ENCE are pulling this game. Again, considering the 2 star players for the ENCE side, Sergey and Alu, they are currently sitting 21 and 22 kills. Definitely not top of the board. We do have players replacing that. Alexa B is having a fantastic game alongside Aerial as well, but if these 2 extra players can step up, then who knows what can happen. ENCE may be able to run away with the second overtime. We'll see. As you said, once you hit OT, everything is out the window. Stats are gone. Anyone can have their moment. As we even saw from Tizian in round number 30, when he had something like 11 kills across the map and then suddenly got a 1v whatever on that B-bomb site. Big looking to maybe ramp up the pace here, and ENCE, they've done the same. They've built up some confidence and decided to get aggressive up on A. A deep smoke to catch Big out, to push them back, but it will just push them back into that fateful B site that they're already so set up outside of.
Yeah, The aggression from the CT side actually is going to pay dividends, though, because they have this little boost currently over towards the B site. Now, they went and spotted into mid and didn't really see anything. However, Aerial, he needs to at least get a kill here. He needs to do something, and Smooya is just going to take his head off on that little boost spot. tabseN not afraid to continue this push forward, and the rotation is coming in from the CT side, but they desperately need to try and find something here. It doesn't look like it's going to be happening. Now, of course, there's no real reason to save in this situation. Maybe Alu will want to keep his AWP, but the rest of the players may as well try and make a play.
All this boost has come through, though. tabseN has a great off angle to these CTs pushing out from the spawn, and they're all coming from the same position as well. There's no way they'll expect this spot. tabseN gets one, backs off to a little bit more of a passive angle, but there is a player coming in from heaven that he should be aware about as well. These CTs are taking too long. This round is done. Even with the frags coming through, it's just not going to be enough. And tabseN is not done with one. He takes a second as well. Alu, too close to the bomb here. He may even die after time, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't even matter because tabseN's on the flank. Big have found 19 rounds here in overtime. And that's interesting as well, because for the first round in a while, we've seen Big just go, okay, no AWPs, full AKs, let's charge into B. And it's worth its weight in gold. Smooya gets the big entry onto Aerial on that boost as well to start things off. And from then on, it's history. 19 rounds to the Germans. ENCE with their back up against the wall.
Yeah, tabseN now with 34 kills. Nobody in the server really that close other than his teammate Nex. By the looks of it, they may just go for this again. A faster play over towards this B site. Smoke going to extinguish the Molotov. Maybe not expecting a similar play once again, as it is a very quick push in, but a great start from Aerial. Already starting with 2 quick kills. A trade being looked for by Smooya, and it is actually going to come, but it's not him. It's Tizian and Nex to find a kill apiece. Alexi B is still on towards this site, and he's been good so far, although it's taken him a while to get towards that 30 bomb. Bomb is going to be planted. Going to try and deny it, but he's not able to connect the shots. However, Sergey from behind will be able to pick off one. Smooya and Tizian looking to try and clutch things out, and although the shots will be hit by Tizian, he doesn't manage to net the frag, and while it does go down, spray wild from Smooya, but he's found himself too. It's now left all onto Alu, and he'll catch him in the air. Headshot as well. What a clutch from Smooya. And while that's going to be another round on the board, 20 now for Big.
What is it with these clutches on this B bomb site from Big? They are pulling out the most ridiculous situations. It was mentioned on the desk that maybe as Big start to get more confident and well, Smooya starts to get more loud, maybe the pressure gets to ENCE, these young and inexperienced players with the exception of Alu. And I think maybe that seems to be happening because I have no doubt that Smooya is getting loud.
Yeah, definitely getting pumped up. Obviously, the rest of the team stepping up around him as well.
Kakafu trying to make sure everyone's calmed down. They've not won this one just yet.
Yeah, I think that was something that Smooya actually said in one of his interviews, that the sort of real impact of God B is just keeping him calm, making sure he doesn't go off the rails. And although it doesn't work so well on Twitter, it does work well in the game. You can see that they do take moments just to make sure that they're not just getting overexcited, not going to be going for these like ridiculous hero plays all the time. Obviously, when it's needed.
The thing is, this is so important for Big, right? Smooya needs to prove himself. He can't go off on Twitter like this and then bottom out and not do anything on LAN. He's proven it here and now. Hate him, love him, he's still fragging like a madman. And here into round number, I don't even know. Big try it again. Another fast B play. They've already set up outside. They're going for the quick boost as well. Nex is going to get on the head of tabseN. Do they expect this? Or he spotted a player on barrels. They can at least molly someone out of that position, but I think X7 has realized and he's backed off as a result.
Chance to actually get the opening there, but slightly missed. X7 will have actually spotted his opponent as well, but takes a nasty amount of damage already at the beginning of this round. Now, the T side have obviously started very well. 2 T rounds. They were better on their CT side. Not by much, but even still. We are going to watch to see if Sergey is going to step up to the plate here. Now, he's actually bottom of the board for his team. Throughout the tournament, he has been the highest rated player, but Overpass definitely doesn't seem to be going his way as today. And we are going to have the rotation back from the Ts in through long. Banana control going to be taken, and there are going to be multiple players here for the CT side. 40 seconds left on the clock, and Big are going to have to make their play very soon.
Nice angle from Alexa B as the smoke fades. He gets some damage done, but he's stuck in between a rock and a hard place. tabseN pressuring him. The Molotov's going to push him out into the open, but Tizian's not watching it. He flips back and gets the kill. That's the bomb drop from Sergey with 20 seconds left up. X7 needs to save the day, but he can't line up a frag, and this bomb site has been overrun by the big side. Nice shot and a great nade to follow up from ENCE. They're still in this round, but Alu needs to hit a shot with the AWP. Aerial has come in to save his life, and now it is just next up in a 1v2.
He's been excellent so far. This is a big ask for him, though, and it's not going to be happening. We will at least see one from ENCE, which last time was enough. They managed to turn things around in the second half.
But that was on their T side as well, take into account, right?
Yep.
They only got one on that side of the map. When it comes to ENCE playing this map, their CT side on Overpass is far more effective, right? Statistically, 70% of their rounds won a CT, whereas it's only 30% on the T. So that's a little worrying. And again, while stats always go out the window or in overtime, Big definitely seem pumped up, and I don't think losing one round on that half will be a huge worry for them now moving over to the CT side, the favoured side of Overpass.
Yeah, especially when you get this 16K. That's always the prominent thing here. When you have all that money over on the CT side, we can notice that for both teams there were definite sort of streaks in the middle of the half. In fact, it's almost identical when you look at the sort of scoreboard in regulation, where both teams got reset. Both teams had a sort of like, well, 6 out of 7 rounds or 7 out of 8 rounds going to the T side, just because they didn't actually have the money to buy up. So now that the finances no longer play a factor, you can definitely see more rounds coming in on that CT side. But we are going to see the purchase in for both, of course. Molotov onto tabseN, he burns very low indeed. He's left on to just 7 HP, and it's Smooya to actually open things up. Another one comes in for next, in fact, but he's just traded out. Still leaves a couple of players very low on HP, and the nade over the top may be enough to do a bit of damage, but it doesn't quite reach on to Smooya. Now the T's still taking some map control, and eventually the nades will dunk through. Aerial getting his second kill of the round to even things up. Tizian going to go down without much of a fight, and although tabseN is here, he doesn't have any HP to play with, and he misses his only real chance. GobB on the other side of the map has a long rotation back in. X7 actually going to take a little bit of team damage along the way, but not anything to really write home about. And while GobB, can he clutch this? Doesn't have a kit. I guess he probably didn't have enough money to buy one.
This has been the tournament for IGLs, as Alexa B is also proving in this game, but I think this one's a bit too much to ask for, so GobB just holding on to this gun. Almost an unwinnable round as well. Aerial has stepped up huge in overtime as well. He's on 36 frags, 35 frags right now, I think. That's insane. He's actually just below next. GobB gets one on the exit. That's naught dropped, but again, won't be a worry for ENCE. They picked up that first round of overtime. Magic number is 22 here. Both teams gunning for it.
Yeah, I don't really know why GobB doesn't go for that. I know it is basically impossible.
Yeah.
But it's 16K MR3. Like, the chances of you running out of money are so slim that I feel like he may as well go for that anyway. So
got to keep those good stats, man.
Stats are meaningless. Like, absolutely meaningless. In OT, at least.
Yeah, yeah. Ooh, Smooya. Oh no, he took drop damage. He didn't take knife damage. Only 95 HP. Can always come back to bite you, but not a worry. Next jump spotting down on this B site. We have a fast connector play from ENCE. This is a good boost. This is a perfect boost. But is Smooya ready for it? He's so blind. They've surely spotted him, but no. Smooya gets away with it on that boost for so long. What seems like too long. But he takes down the top fragger of the enemy team, and that is going to have grave consequences for ENCE.
Strong start. Tizian looking like he wants to go for the repeat here and does spot out Sergey. Going to do a fair bit of damage, in fact. Smooya down to just 51 HP. I think that was a different nade. I don't think that was the one that we watched. Still, heavy B presence at the moment. Still a little bit of a lurk from Alu on the other side of the map with the AWP, maybe hoping that somebody will aggress on towards long. Now, GobB has been doing that quite often, in fact, looking for these hot flanks in on towards this T side, but not this time. He's going to be playing patiently over towards long. Now, for the remainder of the T side, they may want to try and reposition here. They've already attempted to do some damage in towards the B side, and although Smooya is getting tagged low, they haven't actually managed to take a pick yet. However, with 40 seconds left on the clock, it looks like they are going to dedicate themselves to this B site. 3 players ready and waiting. Smooya looking for that opening with the AWP homed in on the angle.
Oh, they jump ahead of the smoke, but Smooya will miss the shot and the follow-up. Luckily, Tizian's there on long to find a double kill, only at the cost of 1. He's found 3. Smooya closes out the round, and that's big. Map and match point. But, Tom, we've been in this position before for both teams now, and so far the game hasn't ended. So as far as I'm aware, this is not over until it's over, and still have the bye. But things are getting very, very dangerous. We need to see more A side play. I don't think we've seen a team push A in what feels like 10 rounds.
Yeah, it's definitely been a more B-heavy setup. Triple AWP coming in for B.
Yeah, I like it.
Got B feeling it at the moment, and the strategy, well, it could depend here. Aggressive from God B. He's going to be met with the AWP of Alu. Only one on the other side. So one of those AWPs will hit the deck. Tabson well positioned, and he will win the battle versus Alu and be able to fall back as well. Now, in terms of this T setup, they've still got plenty of time. They don't have anything to worry about just yet. Of course, money, not a prospect here. And Sergey actually going to pick up the AWP. He's not the one really known for his AWPing, but he has had a pretty quiet game. A quiet game for him is still 24 frags, but I suppose when we're in this point of overtime.
This push from Tizian gets him so much information. Tizian is all the way in T spawn right now, and ENCE have no idea. Look at the rotate. Smooya's moving himself off of that B bomb site to bring another AWP up onto A. ENCE are finally going for an A play, but it couldn't be more telegraphed to the side of Big. They may be able to close out this game right here and now, but Sergey with a hugely important kill. Not known for his AWPing, but he takes down Tabson on top of the dice. Smooya plays close, and he may draw the attention away from Nex, who's hiding in the corner. Smooya gets a single frag. Flash back in. Alexibi running backwards, and Smooya takes down 2. Looking for a third, but he can't connect the final shot. The time is low for ENCE, but they should be able to get this trade here. And now they line up. X7 still finds a frag, and now him on 3 HP has got to close out this overtime, has got to try and keep ENCE in this map, because Big are 1 bullet away from winning it.
He's going to go rotating back around. Obviously going to take the low ground, because it's not worth the risk of falling down and killing himself. That would be the most embarrassing way to lose a map, probably in history. But Tizian now has to reposition. He's gone all the way back around, but this could be perfect. I love it when players do this and make this play up towards the heavens. If he can get here, but he's actually just going to play the cross instead. Still a chance for X7, though. He's got that AWP, just 1 shot needed, and so many angles for Tizian to check it around the corner, and he finds it as well, though. Big, they are going to be taking their map pick. It definitely wasn't an easy task. And while ENCE, they're going to be kicking themselves. They had 4 map points at one point. They now will go into their choice of nuke after what is a long battle. And what I will say is, although we've sort of suggested that it should be ENCE taking that nuke game, after a battle like that, after such a long map and to come out losing, a lot of the time it can be very, very painful for the side that doesn't actually win it.
Yeah, we have talked about how, at least Finnish teams are very calm and collected, and these players you'd like to hope will be able to bounce back. But again, it comes down to the experience, right? When you haven't been in this position before on the big stage, fighting up against a team that's made top 8 of the major, that has proved their worth, at least before on LAN, against some of the best in the world. If you're ENCE here, are you able to recover? Are you able to bounce back? Or is it going to be a bit of a problem? Who knows? Nuke coming up next, not a map that Big will be fearful of by any means. And again, we already know about the confidence on Big and how that translates to their performance in game. I think, yeah, right now this could look scary for ENCE.
Yeah, I will say that all in all, I think that Big's nuke is somewhat a question mark. Like, I don't think it's one of their sort of stronger maps, but either way, we might get them to prove us wrong.
Yeah.
We'll see. Either way, it's down to James to try and break down that ridiculously long game.
Didn't sound like Tom was really enjoying that ridiculously long game, but it's Big who have the bigger balls this time around. And we look at ENCE, 4 match points, so many chances to close it out, but they just couldn't do it at the end. Got to say as well, that when we were getting to overtime, God B just like exploded. He was like, okay, you guys are not playing up to standard. I'm just going to go straight in, and he just domed heads.
I mean, it was a weird game. I felt like it was a very unorthodox game. That Tizian 1 and 3 clutch, we got to talk about that. Obviously, that was what prevailed them into OT, and should have won this game. ENCE were by far, I felt at least the first 30 rounds the better team. They just weren't able to close out the important rounds of the game, and that's why they gave Big another chance, and they took advantage of it. As you said, GOB played well. Smooya had not the best game.
Yeah.
We're talking about, like, we saw the scoreboard. You have 27 frags at this point, but we haven't really seen you do anything besides missing shots. So it was a little bit of an unorthodox game. Even saw GOB AVPing over Smooya at some point as well. So something is definitely cooking wrong right now within the Big lineup.
Yeah, it was a very weird game, as Jacob said. We went into that game saying, oh, Big is the strategic team.
Yeah.
The players from ENCE are the ones that are going to make this shine. But Big's players are the reason why they came through with this win, not their strats. I mean, Smooya had the 1-on-3 in OT. That was big. GOB had a 4K with an op. He's picking up the op, but seemingly nothing worked. What was going on? And then Tizian, with that huge end of the game 4K to even get it to OT with the clutch. I mean, all the big players came up very, very, I mean, for lack of a better word, big in this game, right? Nexa and Tapson topping the scoreboards. Meanwhile, on ENCE, Sergey, who we touted as the best rated player in the group stage, he was flat. I think he was actually, I think he had the least frags actually on ENCE throughout this game, and they need him to step up. But this was Big's court. So, I mean, as you said, the ball's in their court.
I don't think either team is going to be happy with that whatsoever, right? I think the main thing you got to look at is, was Smooya at one point, I guess, because we saw him, he had the AWP in the early rounds. He wasn't able to hit the shots that you normally see him connect. He was playing below standard of what you normally see from this man, which then meant at one point Tabson picked it up, like you said, Pimp, then GOB picked it up. That is not what we want to see, right? That's not how we expect it to be played out.
It seems like something is off within this Big lineup right now. That said, though, there's another way to go around that as well. If Smooya really did have a bad game and he really didn't feel for picking up the AWP, ending the game with 32 frags, I believe, is still quite impressive.
Not bad,
right?
He
didn't have a good game, yet he was still able to make a 1-on-3 clutch and be impactful throughout the game. So it goes both ways in that scenario. We'll say, though, that ENCE, they must feel this is a big chance gone missing, because they were by far, I felt, the better playing team throughout the first 30 rounds. They just weren't able to close it down when it really mattered the most.
So 22-20, right? And like we said, it's Big's pick. Do you think now they'll be looking back at this and saying, hey, look, how did we even allow this to happen? Because we touted them as the team that would be kind of running away with this one on Overpass.
I think Big has to feel pretty confident heading into Nuke, because their players look like they're all in form right now. I mean, we're looking through the highlights right now. They're the ones with all the nutty clips. Like, all of these rounds that Big won, they're due to their players coming up, I mean, in remarkable situations. Like, they should not be winning a lot of these rounds. I mean, yeah, you could say that ENCE shouldn't have allowed that to happen. There's tons of mistakes on ENCE's part, probably because they're not as comfortable on Overpass. But if I were Big going into the second map, I would at least feel happy with the fact that my players are showing up.
So next map, we are moving into Nuke. It's the pick of ENCE. We saw a Big look a little bit deflated on it when it went to them playing Fragsters. But one thing we see on the Fragsters lineup, right, was just their kind of raw skill and willingness to kind of pull it back there when they were going up against Big. How do we kind of see this one going?
I think it's a close map once again. I think we outlined it in the pregame as well, that both these teams, play some sort of the same maps. And it's not like Big is not a good Nuke team. They're decent on the map.
Yeah.
They're just not one of the best in the world, as they thought to themselves. So I think ENCE is going to have a tough time on Nuke as well. I think it's going to be a close one. But I do feel that if ENCE were able to push Big this much on a map, they may not have felt too comfortable on. And they actually did pressure the entire Big team to stay away from the game plan.
Yeah.
As Sean said, they're not playing as a team. They're just playing as the individuals. Tabson, GOB was picking up the AVP as well. They were not playing the big brand of Counter-Strike that we know. So if ENCE were able to root them that much on a map like Overpass, I'm a little bit afraid on Big's behalf that that may be the case on Nuke too.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking going into it, right? Because we just look at ENCE and their general play style. It's a bit slower. They don't have the wins where they're like convincingly winning 16-1, 16-2. They can grind out the games but close it out eventually by just sticking to their overall game plan. This time, it didn't work out for them, but it was still a good game across the board. So going into Nuke, can we expect something a little bit more convincing from them?
I think so. I mean, they must have something up their sleeve on Nuke. I like the fact that Big has so many different looks on Nuke. They have 2 different wall of smokes that they go between. They have heaven pushes, they have upper hits, they have ramp hits. But whenever I watch them, not many of them work. But that's not because they're bad strats. Their strats just fall apart in the mid-round, and they have very poor trading on their T side. But if they were to get those entries and their players were to be on form, like they are in this first game, they could easily run away with T-half Nuke, in my opinion.
So looking at it, right, we're seeing a Big that have managed to frag successfully here on Overpass. If they can bring that through onto Nuke, do you think this could be a potential where we go, okay, look, we are looking at another 2-0?
Yeah, I mean, the worrying thing for ENCE going into Nuke is definitely the fact that they probably felt they should have won Overpass.
Yeah.
They felt they were in the leading position. They felt Tizian should have done that 1 versus 3 or 1 versus 4, whatever it was, in the last round. So they're going to feel a little bit deflated. Thing is, we get to see now what ENCE really are made of. Can they shake that off? You know, we talked about them being a young, inexperienced team. This is the test of times. If you can't shake something like this off, then you don't belong in a playoff spot or in a playoff semifinal, which both teams are aiming to progress to. So in that sense, we get to see the real ENCE. We get to see the real shine of these young players. And whatever they're going to be able to shake it off or not, I'm not sure. I think they still have this one. They should have this one, basically. This is their map, and as Sean said, they should be knowing what Big is coming with. There's a lot of different strats, but as you said, as long as you can interrupt them a little bit mid-round, then Big is not a scary team to play on Nuke.
So we talk about, obviously, on the Nuke side of things, that we need to see them bounce back for ENCE, right, and come back into this game. Is that where we look to Alu and Twister to being the coach there, kind of bringing them in and saying to the younger guys, hey, look, it's not that bad. It was a good result regardless, and it was their pick. Let's just carry this forward. Yeah,
it's definitely difficult when you're dealing with a lot of younger players like, you know, Alu and Twista are, as probably the two vocal people on that team, maybe outside of Alexi B, the in-game leader, who actually had a really good game. But yeah, getting someone like Sergey back in the game after, you know, falling down like that, being 16 years old, I don't know if you can say anything. I haven't played with someone that's that young, maybe outside of like Twist, and he was never really that, I never really had that experience with him. But have you played with someone that young?
Nah, I just remember myself being 16 years old, right, and that wasn't a pretty sight. So it's a really tough mental battle. It feels like you're constantly fighting against all the teams and all the players. And at 16 years old, it's easier to get rattled out. It's easier to feel off game, you know. And when you learn, you know, at our age or with our experience, you learn that all right, it's just one map. You move on to the next one. You refocus, recharge, and sometimes, you know, it works. Sometimes it doesn't. Whereas if you're 16 years old, you're already now thinking to yourself, all right, what if we're losing? We're losing. I had a bad game. That was my fault. All that kind of stuff. So he has to shut that out. He has somebody to help him, you know, the Alus, the Twist, the coach, something to just keep him in line and be the Sergey who were in the group stage. Because he was playing, as you said, the best rated player in the group stage. He was playing up to an insane level, and he is still 16 years old.
Yeah, it'd be difficult to make a case for the fact that ENCE would not be able to come back on this map. They obviously have a game plan for Nuke, but I can also make a hell of a case to visit Hellcase and use the code SLTV for 10% extra for your deposits, James.
You're getting better and better at these, Sean.
You got me right there, Sean.
He's on it.
I'm sold.
Baited you guys right in.
All right, you can see the results here for both teams on Nuke. We've got losses to Tricked and Kingwin and North on there.
1 second, James. We need Jacob to say that third team name on the left side.
We hot? There we go.
There you go. There's a sound clip.
Neither of these win records are rather impressive, I would say.
No.
Like, if you look at the teams ENCE is losing to, there you go, Sean. If you look at the teams ENCE is losing to, Tricked and Kingwin are two teams I would say on a normal day, any given Sunday, they should be able to beat. This is online results. This is not in a LAN environment, so you can't really put that up against each other. Whereas for Big, they lost to some big teams. Obviously, Navi, Fraxas, decent Nuke team apparently, so neither of these teams could feel too comfortable about it. This must be, you know, ENCE feeling that in our practices Nuke is well, and against a team like Big we should be able to dominate and control the game.
And the thing is, you see the results there for Big as well, like two bad ones, but then the win against Gambit, who is one of the really strong teams we see on Nuke, so it is a true 50-50 again.
It's very weird. Like I said, Big has the tactics on this map. I don't know what else they need to do. Maybe they need to discuss like who takes certain engagements at certain times. They need to go over protocols on CT side, because that's why they lost the complexity at the major. Everything is there for them to be good at this map. They could easily take this map.
Okay, so final thoughts, guys. Where do we think this map is going to go? Because I know you went for Big, you went for ENCE. Where are we going?
I'm going to stick to my initial thoughts. I think ENCE is going to win this one, and we're going to end up on a third, but very close map.
Okay.
I don't know. I think I'm going to go with Big, but that's just because I feel like ENCE is such a young team that, yeah, if this map were the first map, I would have picked them to win it. I don't know. They have to prove to me that they're not going to crumble, so I'm going to go Big.
They have to make Daddy proud.
Yes.
Well, I was speaking to Christian Lenz while they're in the lounge, just chilling out, watching the games, and he was saying that they are very prepared for a different style of Nuke now. So I'm intrigued to see what Big deliver. But now it is time for us to go to a quick break, and when we come back, we'll be getting into Nuke. Can Big close this out 2-0, or will the boys from ENCE bounce back? You'll be finding out soon.
absolute bet. With Hellcase multi-cases, you're no longer restricted by random case opening mechanisms. Now, you are able to pick any of the cells containing skins and actually determine what you win. Use the promo code and dive right in.
I'm a fighter. You can't burn me. I'm the igniter. Gonna be a legend. Gonna take it all. Watch me crush it like a wrecking ball. On fire, so high to the top is where I'm heading. Gonna be a legend. You're looking at a legend. Gonna be a legend.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. We are into our second quarterfinal. One of these teams will be joining Optic in the semi-final stage, and well, it was a close affair over on the choice of Big. They just managed to scrape it through, and if anything, ENCE are going to be feeling a bit hard done by 15-11 up. One round out of the 4, and they would have had themselves that first map victory. Instead, though, we now go into Nuke, and they have got to come back.
Yeah, double overtime game. All the rounds here for this first map of the semi-final and quarterfinal, sorry. And as you say, Nuke, this is a bit of an interesting one. Obviously, you know, finally reaching a map that both teams definitely put more time into. So I'd like to say that, okay, yeah, ENCE could certainly bounce back. You know, again, their map picked their chance to do it. But the question is, like, how are they going to react after losing that game? Not only are they exhausted, because I'm sure they are after 40-plus rounds of CS, but also mentally, right? The inexperience of these guys could certainly come through and maybe bite them back, whereas Big are going to be so confident, and you can't let Smooth get confident because, I mean, we already saw what he did. He's just insane.
Well, yeah, that's the sort of thing. Like, a lot of the times, if the first map is like a blowout, a team can very easily reset and come back in. But we've even seen it with like teams like the old Na'Vi. I remember I think it was one of the grand finals versus like SK or Luminosity or whichever they were at the time, where the first map was so close they lose it in like second or third OT and get banged the next map because they just weren't ready. Like, they're just so demoralized at that point that you just get destroyed.
Even if it's a close game and you're the one pulling it back and you just lose, that's not as bad as the situation ENCE were in. As you said, 15-11 up, like that's their game every time. They put Big on the low buy and still Big get away with it. So yeah, certainly an awkward game to lose if you are ENCE, but let's not count either team out here, Tom. As shown by that insane previous map, anything can happen here in the quarterfinals of StarSeries as we head into the second one. And with Nuke being the battlefield as well, it's not like Big are rare to touch Nuke overtimes. They've already done this this tournament, unfortunately losing it to Fraxes in that Swiss format as well for their opening game, but maybe they've learned from their mistakes. Maybe they look back on things.
Also, with such a close game versus Fraxes, like Fraxes, I would say, have looked like a pretty damn good Nuke team from what we've seen so far. So, in all honesty, like, I expect a fair bit from ENCE, considering this is the map they've actually chosen going into this series. But the fact is, I'm not by any stretch counting Big out. Also, I see you like looking at the statistics, seeing that, in all honesty, they don't have the best stats over on Nuke. Like, they're fairly low, but I feel like a lot of the competition they actually play against is like they're tough competition. Like, if you ever see it in like Pro League or anything like that, it's against some of the like better teams. And in all honesty, I think that Big will have a much better opportunity to show us what they've got on Nuke here.
Yeah, this is something that they were kind of alluding to on the desk without being sure, that I can kind of confirm is that, you know, they were saying, you know, why is Big so confident coming into so many of these games, in the sense of they don't always win. You know, they're not always the team that maybe they expect themselves to be in some sense, and a lot of that is down to, as assumed, I think Sean was talking about it, their prac. Like, I talked to Smooyer and he goes on about how, like, Big in prac are really, really good. And again, prac is prac, right? Let's remember that. Officials are a very different situation, but that's where Big get a lot of their confidence. I can imagine, you know, being able to rival with some of the best teams in the world and be able to put up a lot of rounds on practice servers. So let's see if it translates to the official matches here. It certainly did on Overpass, but now we head into Nuke map. They have 25 win percentage on, but they've only played it 4 times, Tom. So let's not count them out of this one. Again, this is something they've already, you know, played plenty of times before. So let's find out. Let's stop guessing and jump into this one.
Well, the other thing that we were sort of looking at is in this tournament so far, Nuke has been one of the more T-sided maps, which has been really interesting. It was either second or third, I believe, in the statistics for how T-sided it was.
Yeah,
so,
third
and
most.
more T rounds have been won than CT rounds, which is kind of insane. I do feel like a lot of that comes down to like the vent change, and like a lot of teams just seem to be very good at just finding a lot of those opening picks. Also pistol rounds as well. I think a lot of them have been going the T way. But yeah, I haven't seen like a particularly impressive CT side as of recent. So I'll be interested to see. Obviously, we've got the CT side start for Big. In terms of the betting, I believe that this one will actually be correct, which is nice. So that's understandable, obviously, going into their map choice, a highly played map by the side of ENCE. But I don't know. I feel like it's a little bit closer than those odds may actually suggest.
Yeah, 2.44 to Big. I assume that's just for this map, right? 2.44 to Big after being a map up in a series is it's definitely a chance for you to make some money. So if you are interested, the official the official StarLadder code SLTV over on loot.bet you can use for a bit of bonus moolah.
Also, I believe you can still win prizes as well, isn't it? live.starladder.com.
Oh yeah, you can.
So,
watch and do all of that.
Obviously, you can go and jump in there and get yourself the chance to win some prizes without having to bet any of your money, which that's always good. Like, why bet money when you can just get stuff for free?
Live.starladder.com. Head over there now. But ENCE versus Big. This is the second map here, Tom. I hope it holds up to as exciting as the first one was. Big did get that CT pick after winning knife round. Bit of utility on God B. No kit in the pistol round here, surprisingly enough. ENCE have gone for a very similar buy. And already, Sergey, he's going to get naded. That's a nice chunk of utility, taking some damage from the side of Big. ENCE have set up outside of this ramp room for a quick burst play. We've got Tizian playing close, Smooya on the corner as well. And this is good because Smooya could take the attention away from ENCE, and then Tizian can do the damage.
Ready, Smooya. Try and find the opener here. Tizian will be able to get a kill, but Alexi B, again, he's kicked things off with a bang. Gob trying to find something back, but isn't going to be able to. And the T-side have started off their pistol round well. Also, Alu looking to be the sort of snake in the grass. I think he's timed this very well. Next, actually going to try and sneak away through the vent, but he is completely caught with his pants down. And now Tabson and Gob B trying to do absolutely everything. Gob from above has managed to do a little bit of damage. He does have a smoke, but as you mentioned, there's no kit for the CT side.
Yeah, I'm not sure why Next crawled into the vents there. Maybe some misinformation or getting confused by some of the sounds, but yeah, Alu's going to be able to take another one down as Tabson gets shot right in the skull. And with that, Big, they're going to lose out on this pistol round. ENCE start things off on the T side of their map pick, exactly how you would have hoped. And again, as you said, Tom, this map has been more T-sided here at StarSeries. For whatever reason that may be, ENCE are proving it here with their first.
Yeah, I think probably, I don't know if the stats are true. I'd be interested if anybody would be able to find out if this is the most T-sided we've ever seen Nuke in a tournament.
I think this is the most T-sided we've had Counter-Strike as a whole anyway, right? The ability to win these force buy rounds, the crushing of an economy on the CT side that can be so detrimental to you winning rounds, the amount of double ecos we see nowadays,
and this
SMGs.
Before the economy update.
Yeah, right.
So imagine like what's going to happen when the economy update comes through. Ooh. I think that'll make things even more T-sided, which definitely going to be interesting, especially when you include like bomb plants and also the fact that just ecoing after losing that first round will actually be quite helpful to the T side. Either way, we do have a purchase back in for both sides. A Deagle brought up onto Tizian. Well, basically brought up by Smooya so that he has been dropped the scout. Trying to get him to roam the outside. Now, Tabson is waiting down below in secret just in case X7 does try to duck down. But it is looking like Tizian's going to be the one challenged. Only has a Deagle, doesn't have anything else to play with. The SMG is going to be leading the charge, while the AK's somewhat playing a little bit more defensive, not wanting to risk too much. Tizian in a good position here, a little bit of an off angle, which they may not clear straight away. Doesn't manage to connect the shot, but does give an opportunity. Nice shot onto the first at least, but will be very quickly traded out. And Alexi B again, so good at finding these openers.
Yeah, through the smoke as well down on that B site to find the second. Nice opening kills for ENCE, and again, Nex and Smooya are all that remain. That should be a free kill. Nex, nice shot. Is going to be able to take down X7, but it's only an SMG dropped away a Big. They may as well save that, go into that next round with a bit of a buy. Of course, it is still going to be the eco round for the Germans, but with something behind it, such as a CZ getting dropped over. Nex can play the UMP. Smooya has a scout. It's not the be-all and end-all.
Yeah, of course, for the T side. They don't really want to lose any more of their weaponry. So far, only losing a couple of SMGs and not really anything to write home about for the Big side, but losing an AK would definitely be pretty painful for the side of ENCE. However, though, they have got off to a strong start in this T side. And I think that's always important, although we are sort of talking quite a bit about how we have seen some more T-sided halves of Nuke. It's definitely going to be the case that you don't want to allow the CT side to build up a lot of economy. You don't want to allow Smooya to be getting that AWP outside. You want to be basically limiting this CT side as much as humanly possible.
Definitely the start ENCE would have needed regardless. Even with things being T-sided at the moment, you still want to pick up that pistol round. You still want the 3-0 start. And again, that can convert to a 5-0 very easily if you win your first rifle round. So as we head into our last anti-eco of this start. Big, again, as exactly as how we assumed, Tabson on the CZ, next on the saved UMP. And he's up in main, but ENCE are going very quickly towards his yard position. No smokes to cover, and that's because they're playing up against pistols. You don't want to give Big any opportunity to close the gap and get close up through these smokes. So ENCE just roam the yard with these AKs. Next is stuck in main. He's surely going down there. And Ali will get dinked down to just 19 points of health, but he still gets a frag. One by one, Big are getting picked apart in this round, and only Godby and Tizian remain. This shouldn't be too much of a problem.
Yeah, there'd have to be some pretty big mistakes here. Maybe if Alu goes for a bit more of a peak, then he could find something. But other than that, I think this is just going to be a simplistic cleanup, and may even be able to keep this one nice and flawless, and they will. Wonderful stuff from ENCE, and now moving into the buy round for Big. This is where things should get a little bit more interesting. Now, early on, they do not have that AWP, so will still be a little bit missing in their buy so far. Those are still the same odds, aren't they?
Yeah, from the first map, the start of the first map. Well, those aren't live, but if you want some live odds, head over to loot.bet. Either way, now we have the buy round for Big. This is what we've been waiting for. Rifles up. Interested to see if we have the AWP. No, but Godby, he's got full Oscar here on Nuke. He's got the shotgun out, Tom. I know you're a big fan of shotguns. You're in full support of that weapon, so we're going to be seeing him utilize that. Probably close up towards this A site. It's very common to see that in the hut position, maybe the squeaky door. Look at Smooya's position, though. Alexi B going to run right, and he gets the frag. No head armor for Smooya in this first rifle round. He opted to get nades, and instead his head get ripped off as Tizian now sits alone on the ramp, 1-for-1, as the bomb gets dropped, but quickly retrieved from ENCE, who take over this B bomb site.
Yeah, another brilliant start to the round for this T side. And, well, although Godby will like that shotgun when it comes to the sort of close range A pushes, not so valuable when he's looking for any sort of retake, but he will get nice and close to Alu, unfortunately jumping past the angle. And Alu probably won't get an easier kill all day. Tabson and next, they're just going to try and save onto what they've got. And so it will be a fourth round, 2,900 into the accounts of Big, but can't really expect for them to go for too much. Maybe just a pistol or two, obviously depending on what Godby plans to actually buy in the next round. Maybe he'll want another X7, so maybe he'll actually buy one into the next round to try and do some damage. I doubt it. I think it'd be a bit of a weird decision. Tabson will at least clear out Alu and make things a little bit more costly for the T side, but the fact is they had that as sort of a bonus round. They had the SMG still in play. They were looking to just farm up some extra cash, and that's exactly what they've done.
And this is the 5-0 lead that you can always get after winning that first buy round as a terrorist. Again, so difficult to buy up as a CT side. So half buy can come through here. Big putting a little bit of money around these rifles. Smooya should be saving here if he wants that AWP, and I'm sure he does. But for now, ENCE are still keeping the full-on rifles. I'm surprised to not even see like an SMG here for ENCE, to be honest, instead of rebuying two rifles. That chances are, if they have a flawless round, that means they're not going to be able to pull out the AWP. But again, a lot of teams don't like pulling out the AWP on T-side Nuke, and we'll see if ENCE are one of them. At least today. Nice nade.
Yeah, double nade stack will do a little bit of extra damage. Smooya's been dropped to CZ, just to allow him to have some extra cash going into the next round. And there's still a chance that maybe someone like Tabson could try and drag this round through. He already manages to find the first, and that gives a little bit more space to Smooya, who's still up close. Peeks round, does a lot of damage, but doesn't manage to net himself the frag. He's still setting things up to give Tabson a bit more of a chance, and with the low HP on one, Alu with a nice shot. It doesn't matter, he may be low, but he is not done just yet. Godby has to be careful pushing around this door. Alexi B is just around the corner, and they actually both try to open the door at once. It's a bit of a messy fight, and surely Alexi B is dead here. He's got X7 to help him out. But he will fall. Actually, next with a quick double actually makes things a little bit interesting here. Alu so low on HP. Sergey going to be the one to actually go and try and plant the bomb. Now, I'm hoping that we'll see Tizian be the bait and try and basically hand his teammate a couple of extra kills. It hasn't really worked particularly well, and Alu once again peeking out 3 kills while low on HP. A good round from him.
And that's really nice, right? Tizian goes for that reload, and Sergey peeks off the back of it, and then as the last player's got his attention on the left side of the site at Sergey, Alu peeks from the right. So it's a good crossfire from ENCE, and they actually get aggressive as well, try and shut down the retake before it even begins. Big still should be happy with that round. They got 3 kills with a half buy. They had 2 saved guns. They had a couple of people investing in pistols, but here's where they can actually, you know, break the money. Well, not here, because ENCE have like $8,000 a player, but get themselves on the board and start breaking the money. It's a bit of a process here, as ENCE have all the cash in the world. Ooh, that's always awkward.
Yeah,
and that jump will be heard.
A little bit of trouble here. Smooth's going to be the one to actually kick things off, and the utility being expended. Tizigan, that's an aggressive push. He manages to burn one and kill the other, leaving 2 players left. X7, well, he'll leave it onto 1, as Aerial has everything to do and nothing to do it with. It will be 5-1 Big. Swiftly onto the board. Now they're not... Oh, maybe they did. Yeah, I think Next just about managed to retrieve that AWP. It looked like it was about to hit the deck. Of course, as you said, there is so much money on that T side. They're not going to have any trouble to buy back into this round. They're not worried as of yet. In fact, even going into the next round, if they get a bomb plant, they're going to be flawless in how much money they actually have. And even without it, it would still be possible to buy. I think it would just be Aerial, maybe on an SMG. Everybody else would be absolutely fine. So not really any worries yet for ENCE, and they've already got 5 rounds. Yeah,
this is a great T-side start, and they want no time of stopping it. Alexi B going to dive down towards this lower bomb site. He's already in B within seconds, and they say vent dives are done. There's no bomb here for ENCE to get a quick plant. It is not that eco, but Big surely are aware of the possibility of a player getting down towards this lower site, and we are going to see that rotate from Smooya. I don't think he's ready for this. I don't think they realize Alexi B is this deep. Tizian has no idea. He's not watching his lower ramp, and ENCE are ready to burst. The second Alexi B gets into position, nice frag. Smooya caught with his pants down is just going to retreat, running back. Right on him, because Alexi B is about to put the pressure onto this site. He smokes off the Molotov, runs right through, he sees a trajectory, and that's another free kill. Alexi B opening up this round in a huge way. Alu may be going down in the meantime, but so will the bomb getting planted on this lower site next, keeping things even.
Even still, though, this is such a difficult position to get back from. Godby has to try and rotate through the vents, which is firmly under the control of the T's, although the timing somewhat works in his favor. Alexi B is still around this corner. Godby goes jumping through, but just about managing to survive. The problem is they need the kills, and Next goes down instead. Godby left all alone, and he will fall. A fantastic turnaround, and Alexi B, I don't know what it is. So he's in-game leader, fragging like hell. I think he may even be top of the board at the moment, or he's very, very close. I think he may actually overtake, or may have just overtaken Alu. I think he's on a similar kill distribution as him. Not only that, but he manages to just cause an absolute nuisance.
Or a nuisance. No, not good? Don't like that pun? Come on, Tom, you're the one of bad puns. Either way, Big, yeah, that's their money broken, Tom. That's a bounce back from ENCE in a big proportion. Silence.
Gone? Yeah.
Well, hopefully that will come back. I'm sure.
If anything, this is probably what ENCE was hoping for. Silence. They want to reduce Smooya's impact by, well, putting him to bed, I suppose.
Oh, nice nade. Does tag Alexi B, but he's going to get out of that one alive. Alu's still firing shots in through the squeaky door as well. Oh yeah, you do the sound effects. I'll cast that. That's how we'll do it. Just really delayed. What does a footstep sound like, Tom? You play Minecraft over here.
Yeah, every day.
Well, Alu's even opened up in this round. That's a squeaky door pick into main. Big again, not much stake in this round. There's only Tabson with 1 rifle. Godby armored up, but by and large, Tabson going to be smoked off in main, and that opens up the A site for ENCE to completely collapse onto. Aerial does get caught outside. Nice dig from Smooya. I'll put it back to a 4v4, but they don't have a flashbang to pop Tabson through the smoke, so he's just got to go in dry. It will work out for a bit of damage, but Alu finds the shot, and with that, these pistols are going to fall apart.
Oh, Tizian does manage to drop the bomb, and there's not that much time. Alu's pretty low as well. If he can manage to get this kill, he actually has an opportunity, but, well, eventually the T side will hunt him down. Smooya left alone. If he can somehow drop the bomb, maybe there's a tiny chance they can steal this round away, but I think the smoke is just going to leave him isolated, and with his spamming, his silence deagle through the smoke, he is going to try and just save this AK. Obviously, it will be a 7th round on the board now for the T side. An excellent start to this nuke game. Now, obviously, we are saying that we've seen a lot more T-sided nuke recently, but not to this extent. A 7-1 start is damn impressive from ENCE.
There we go. It's all back. I messaged production. Smooth's doing his best to take this AWP away, but he's going to run right into Sergey. 7-1 up here with the Germans. Never a fun scoreline. Flashbacks already. And a bit of a pause here for Big as they realise that they want to have a little bit of a chat. Or maybe it's actually a technical, yeah. You can
I'm almost proud of you. Did you just make a football reference?
Yeah, everyone knows the 7-1 joke.
Yeah, I know, but, like, do you know who they were against?
Brazil.
Oh, there you go. Wow, that's your one piece of football knowledge.
There we go. And, yeah, no, I have another piece of football knowledge.
Oh, go on.
They used to, hundreds of years ago, kick a pig's bladder around.
Oh, okay. I thought it was going to be like modern day, but yeah, that works too, I suppose.
Well, a bit of a technical pause here. We saw Twister take off his headset, so maybe a problem on ENCE's side.
He's got it the wrong way around.
I'm not seeing a problem on ENCE's side personally. I'm seeing seven. Oh, that's a horrible joke. I only just got that. I'm seeing 7 rounds for the finish. They have started off this map in storm. But again, take into account, we already saw that previous map, how dominant it was for ENCE at one point, and Big still able to pull it back. We had 4 match points or map points that ENCE managed to lose, and even a double overtime with a lot of close rounds. So I am not going to count either team out and until one team has taken this map.
Yeah, it was a 5-0 start for them in the previous map as well. So the thing is, though, on this map, I feel like it's much more of a problem because, although I can expect to see a bit more on the T side, if this goes too much further, I just don't see any way for Big to actually bring this back. It was actually them throwing the map away versus Fragsters after being in a pretty hefty lead and just Fragsters showing them what they can do on the other side. And so far have looked pretty impressive on this map, and they've got so much money in the bank, even after a few closer rounds. Sergey so far has only died once, which is a pretty good start. Alexi B as well, he's only died twice.
And Alu at the top of the scoreboard, that's a big factor. Look at how, not silent, but we were expecting a lot from him on a very AWPer-based map like Overpass, and he kind of really didn't step up to expectations, and that was a bit of a shame to see. He did eventually pull it back by the end, 28 and 27 in the previous map. One of the 2 positive players, actually. But, yeah, there were definitely some situations that didn't really go Ali's way. However, he has kicked off this map fantastically. 11 and 4 for him.
Yeah, I'm guessing this is some sort of headphones issue because Alexi B hasn't got his on.
Hey, maybe it wasn't just muted for us, Tom.
Maybe. Although, if that's the case and they still managed to win the round, that is pretty impressive.
Who needs sound?
But then that came back on. So
it was a joke.
I know.
You don't have to be so analytical.
It's also possible, though. It is possible. Very unlikely, but possible. Seems like the guys on the Big side are still ready and raring to go, and it looks like everybody's getting back in, homed in to the game at the moment. But yeah, it is looking very good for ENCE. I think if they do just take this map away, obviously they're going to be happy about it, but they're still going to be sat there going, we could have done this in 2.
Yeah.
We could have done. I'm sure that the guys who will be casting later in the day will also be thinking, you could have done this in 2.
At midnight,
when it gets to very, very late in the evening. So, yeah. I am... well, obviously after this, the game's cut down a little bit. Unfortunately, we'll be losing Mr. Byron.
Oh.
You're flying off.
Have I been eliminated?
You have been removed.
I'm very interested to know what Big are going to do in this round with their money. We're looking at it right now. It's 3,300 on Tabson, but with a max of 5,100 on Tizzy. And most of the players have 4K or more, but that's still not necessarily a very good buy when you have 2 players. You don't even have $4,000.
Shotguns.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, right?
Yeah.
If they want to buy. But then again, if you want the AWP, you can only buy a glass cannon on Tizian right now, and that's not going to happen. So do they half buy this round, go for shotguns and pistols, bit of armor, bit of utility, full buy next round? Yeah, that will be the case. So Big playing things a little bit safer, and I like that. Again, you're 7-1 down. You don't want to keep forcing yourself into awkward buys where they don't necessarily favor you. It's already hard enough. Give ENCE one more round. It's not the end of the world. Buy up next and have everything you could have dreamed of. Maybe this triple AWP that we saw them run in the previous map.
Yeah, I think everything they would have dreamed of, though, might not have an 8-1 scoreline.
Yeah.
That's the only problem I really see with this. Basically, because of the way the economy has gone so far for Big, the half, unless they pull out a miracle here, is going to have gone the way of ENCE. And the thing is, like, this ENCE side seems so damn focused in this match so far, I just don't see them letting it slip. Either way, we are going to see this out of control being taken. Lots of players around this position for the CT side. So there's plenty of angles that need to be cleared. Alexi B also making a hell of a lot of noise. And that's actually where most of the players are at the moment for Big. Sat in hell. Got beat on the site itself. Now, it'll be interesting to see if anybody actually goes peeking into that angle, because although like having a lot of control over hell can give you the faster rotations up towards heaven, if there's a T up there, most of the time you're just going to be dead. Like, you can't shoot on ladders in this game unless you are like a lottery winner and just like play the ridiculous luck game and just hope that you hit a headshot while moving. And there we go. Look, there is that pounce. Tabson gets both of them though. He just springs into action, and whoa, it looks like the miracle has come through. Water has been turned into wine, and the only person whining at the moment is Sergey, because he is left alone in a 1 versus 5. Where did this come from Big? Still, the youngster. He can make this costly, but he's got no time.
Dear, oh dear, that triple hell setup. Yeah, I had the same expectation of you for ENCE to take heaven, for them to just walk over that A bomb site. But even after they spot no one up in heaven, no one watching their position, despite that very obvious outside control, as you said, lots of noise being made, shooting through smoke, jumping, being heard. Big just pounce up, or more so Tabson pounces up from behind and just gets that frag. And turns it into a double as well. That is crazy. No one watching the back line for ENCE, and that will cost them the round. Against pistols again, Tom. Big didn't even fully invest into that one. So now look at the cash left up. We got players with $5,000 after the buy, and Big only have 2 rounds. Again, this fast drop down B. Now, does Big expect this? Because we've seen Alexa B get away with it before. There is a rotate down towards that lower site, so Smooya seems a little more... Oh, no, he's not aware again. X7 this time actually takes the kill before Smooya even gets a chance to react. And this vent dive has been so good for ENCE.
Yeah, I think the problem is what ENCE are doing is they're throwing so much utility in towards that A site initially that nobody seems to realize that players actually jump down the vent. They're just making enough noise to cover it. Tizian has managed to turn the tide, though. It's back into a 4v4. He's surviving down in this bottom corner. He's going to hear all of the players rotating through so he can give the information to his teammates. Now, it seems like Sergey is more than aware that there is somebody behind this position. We'll just look to Molotov out Tizian. God B going to be tagged within inches of his life, but the flashbang is absolutely perfect. The problem is the T-side still have control of this site. The bomb ticking away. Oh. Alu with a nice shot onto Tabson as well. And Tizian is somewhat isolated here. He was expecting somebody to be around the corner. Instead, he's somewhat left himself sectioned off. And in the meantime, the T's are going to utilize that. Alu again, the quick shots from him have been perfect, and he's going to find 3 kills. What an excellent round from Alu. And this is almost peculiar, because I would say that he underperformed in the last map. Even though he had a reasonable scoreline, I think there was a lot of opportunities that he had that he didn't take. This map, where a T-side AWP on Nuke is just not very common at all, he's playing out of his mind.
Yeah, he's top of the server. He's 14-5. He's double anyone on Big score and more. This is insane. This is great to see. I think a big factor as well with these vent divers, let's think back to these old vents, right? If you go for those vent dives, it's very hard to get anywhere without making so much noise, because you've got to pop the vent to go drop onto the B site, or open the door, or break the window. But because Big or Smooya more specifically, keeps roaming around B, opening, shutting doors, breaking windows, whatever, and you also don't have to pop that vent now to get the bottom vent on the B bomb site. As soon as you get someone down in vent, you can just sit in secret, and rest assured someone from Big will eventually find their way down in that lower bomb site just from repositioning. Again, Smooya, I assume, was dropping down ramp to try and come in through that secret position and peek in the yard up through the stairs. That's a very common thing to do with an AWP in this map when you don't like playing in the garage, because it's such a predictable position. But yeah, I think he's not going to be running through the halls with his knife out anymore. And I can't imagine, like, I wouldn't be surprised if that's going to start tilting Smooya. That's happened to him twice now down on B. He's definitely going to be annoyed at his team for not calming that, for not being aware. So Big need to be careful with this vent dive, because ENCE are just abusing it to the maximum.
Well, double nade will be thrown outside. 0 damage done, so he's not too worried just yet. And by the looks of things, they're going to try and speed things up. Now, Tizian is waiting around the edge of this smoke. They've thrown in close. I'll tag him a little bit, and it seems like the T's are more than aware of the potential of his spot. He will be forced back in towards the ramp, and already that aggression has been counted out. Now, the T side, slightly better buy in this position. It's the next round where things will be punishing for Big if they lose this one. And if they do, well, double digits on the T side is just ludicrous. Like, ENCE are just running away with this at the moment. Their catchphrase somewhat seems to spring to mind if this one goes wrong. It looks like they're going to go for more of a standard execute, throwing the nades in towards the site. Aerial's still looking to hold on the outside, and we'll be able to force Tizian back. He seems to be being just forced out of positions again and again, and Smoothie has just been absolutely ruined. Sergey springing to life in this map. Aerial will fall to the hands of Tizian, so still keeping it at least even for now. And the rotation has already come in for Nex around this B site. They seem to be much more prepared this time.
Next diving through, but the plant's already come through and it's open. The smoke covered his position as well, so Alexa B locks down that doorway. Tizian flashed out. He will move back into this one, and Alexa B is playing that ramp as well, so not even exposed to the window. That's actually a team Molotov forcing Alexa B out of position. Definitely not purpose there from ENCE. It's going to actually allow tabseN to catch Alexa B as he moves off the ramp. That might cost ENCE the round just due to a missed Molotov. Alu bails them out with one more kill, but there's the round. GodB's done it. And I don't know what happened there, but that Molotov forced Alexa B into the open and allowed Big to kill him, and the retake was just started. So whoever threw that Molotov might have just lost their team a round.
Well, I think they did. I think might doesn't come into it. Just a bit of a mistake coming in, and well, the half has been won already by ENCE, but that was the chance to really put the pain onto Big, as they wouldn't have had any real cash going into the next round. Instead, the T's, well, they're a little bit dicey themselves. A Glock for Alexi B. We'll eventually switch that up into a CZ. Some AKs onto Alexi and Aloe. And well, the rest of the buy is a little bit weaker. They're going to go for this quick push in towards the secret spot. They've had some success down towards B throughout this game. Still, this is a big chance for them to actually get back into this game. Smoothie forced off the angle. Okay, that's a little bit audacious. Cold Zero flashbacks, but not quite the right map or player. X7 though, is he actually going to try and sneak back up? I think he may have spotted the man on the top of those silos, and because of the quick push down, they've actually not got many players over towards the site. tabseN, nice shot, will at least give them the man advantage going into this retake, but actually, considering the purchase originally from this T side, what they currently hold is not bad at all.
Yeah, and they have the site as well. Bigger out of utility, but they are still finding the kills. If GodB wins this duel, the round is done, because Aerial's got the bomb on the site. Does not want to commit to the plant, but with 50 seconds up, there's no rush to do so. tabseN wallbanging. Alu, he can shut this whole round down. He's just scared of peeking into main. He needs to try and get this kill onto tabseN. Gives away his position. He does get the kill, but loses some health in the process. Now, with his teammate dead, they all know where he is. Smoothie's going to finish it off. And, okay, while that round didn't work for ENCE, I really like the approach. They're throwing in some new things. These fast vent dives that are catching up Big. This time, they dive down B from Secret, and they send X7 back up the ladder to split that A site, giving a three-pronged attack through Squeaky Hut and Vent. Yes, it doesn't work. Big shut it down, which is nice to see, of course, considering how dominant this game has been. But at least seeing some new things here today on Nuke. So ENCE now down to full Glocks. As the loss bonus begins to culminate, 2,400 will be in their accounts next round, so they will be able to fully buy. However, for now, this is just a chance for Big to not only build up some cash, but some confidence.
Yeah, the other thing as well is I agree with the sort of Alu thing. Like, he was really slow to actually react in that round. I don't know if he thought maybe there was a second player there or something, but he sort of left his teammate out to dry, and by the time he actually got the kill, there was no real way that they were ever going to win that round. He's also purchased down a little bit more than what I would have liked. He bought P250, and that means that going into the next round, he won't have enough money to buy an AWP and Kevlar. So maybe he's made the decision that he's not going to buy Kevlar anyway, and this just makes it factual now that he can't. But yeah, it's a bit of an interesting decision. He's been very good with that AWP so far. But yeah, as you said, this round at least, more of a farming exercise. This is a chance for Big to put their power forward, to decimate their opponents and to make some cash along the way, not wanting to have any chance of a reset going into the future few rounds, because in all honesty, I feel like Big, they need to get the remainder.
I'd love to know what this is. What the game plan is here. Are you trying to bait Big into the T spawn? Well, you've done exactly that, but you're not even watching the push.
Maybe just having a chat, a free tactical pause.
Full existence, right? I mean, you're not going to win this round anyway, so you may as well just take the time to calm and work out your next round.
What if they just leave them?
That's the thing. Big do that a lot. We've seen that already this tournament on that cash game as well, up against, I can't even remember who, but yeah, there's a very good chance no one's going to kill Alu here. Look at them. No one's hunting for this kill. Smoothie's not going for it. Now he's on the knife as well. Pistol out. Oh, he's not going to go for it.
No!
Oh, that's brilliant.
No!
Go on, do it.
No!
Oh.
Why?
Oh, no. That's so good.
Why would Ali not commit to the plant there?
I don't know. I think he didn't want to get knifed, but the fact is what happened was so much worse. He could have gained not only money for his own team, but also meant that he would have got money going into the future rounds. This is such a painful position now, because he was saving money at least to try and get something into the next round. Like I said, there was a chance for an AWP. Instead, he's left on a CZ, and that has got to be so tilting. Also, you've just given a knife over to Big. Like, talk about confidence booster, but here we go again. Quick vent dive. Nex has definitely spotted it this time. There's no doubt in my mind that he knows that someone's dropped down the vent.
And Tabson, oh, he's in the back of the garage. I thought he was playing secret for a second there. There's definitely going to be someone in this position. Maybe even Tizian, for example. You can never tell on this map. But yeah, Tizian's down on B. He's ready for it. X7 is not surprising Smooya today in this position. But he may still get the kill because he's on the angle, and Tizian going to walk into it. Next now has to defend against this ace split, but he's being pushed from behind. Ariel's going to take him off the top, and now Sergey's dropped the man in heaven as well. God B is dead, and even though ENCE may have had an embarrassing previous round, they have bounced back in big form. Tabson is all that remains.
Main will be going down, and will achieve absolutely nothing. Tabson left in a nigh impossible situation. And Alu may have been humiliated in the last round, but he'll still be there to finish off the frag and get their 9th round onto the board. Now, there is a chance for a purchase here. Tabson could realistically try and give an AWP over to Smooya. The fact is, though, he has not been the sort of catalyst player in this map. He's 4 kills at the moment. 4 kills and 10 deaths, and I'm pretty sure he's got at least a couple of kills with the Deeg. So.
The weird thing about this is, like, the staple of T-side nuke is outside control. It's these cross smokes, it's being in use, it's a splitting main, it's going down towards secret. ENCE just haven't been doing that. I've seen 1 or 2 rounds this entire half with cross smokes. ENCE are trying new things, and it is working fantastically, but yeah, that's shutting down the AWP. Of course, Big are not going to be able to get a lot of frags on Smooya. This round, very, very close in terms of health. Oh, Tabson almost connects to Alexi B. And Sergey's on 1 HP as well, just to make matters more difficult. Big certainly in a position where they can convert this round and try and get a 6th of the half. But again, take into account, this is a 9 rounds on the T side of Nuke. Very uncommon to see. Flash deep. Alu is ahead of it, but he's not going to be ahead of the game. Tabson's taken him down. And now Alexi B, again, so low. Nice nade, but Tabson can still hold this angle, and he should be winning this fight.
Yeah, it's difficult for Alexi B to get out of this one, and doesn't want to try and cross while the bullets are being sprayed. 50 seconds left on the clock. Sergey low. It's only really X7 with any HP, and he's going to try and wrap around in towards Hell. He's got a chance to try and catch on, but it seems like Nex may be actually watching in towards Heaven if that's the position he wants to try and go in. So a lot of this is going to be a bit more difficult. That's unlucky. The smoke actually falls down a little bit, so no real vision skewed, and the timing is not good. X7, oh, he may die to the falling. There's now 2 players on 1 HP for this side. Obviously, one of them now down, the second as well for Smooya, and while the 1 HP hero of X7 left to try and do it all, we'll be able to find a first. Actually, there's only 1 player left, and the clock may be down, but if he gets this bomb, he's still got an opportunity here. Any piece of utility could kill him, but he is going to get it down just within seconds of time. Tizian running in on towards the site. He's got a Molotov. That could be enough to kill him, but it won't quite reach. He's already round the corner, holding the angle. X7 shouldn't have a chance here, but he finds the headshot. What an excellent clutch. 1 HP, 1v2. Too easy for X7.
Oh, that's so unfortunate as well. Smooya gets both kills on that A bomb site, shutting down the split, and still X7 wins the clutch. A fantastic T-side half for ENCE, I've got to say. Yeah. And even down on that B bomb site, I think it was Alexi B throwing down that smoke on the cross that confused Tabson. That forced God B's rotate down the vents, and that's the only reason I think that we even see ENCE win that round, because the smoke at least baits the CTs into thinking that ENCE are down on B. But we'll get more into this in the second half. That will be in just a moment. But first, a short commercial break.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. A very strong T-half from ENCE as they look to try and take us to a third. Train is looming as Big have a hefty comeback on their hands, and they are going into what is normally the tougher side of the map. But throughout this tournament, it has not been the case. Nuke has become T-sided. They will be controlling the nuclear power plant, which is probably quite dangerous, in all honesty. Probably not professionals in that, but we'll be waiting and seeing if ENCE are going to prove us wrong. And the fact is, a pistol victory here may even be enough. It could stick them with the 13-5 sort of scoreline, of course. Still worth mentioning for anybody who hasn't watched over the last few days, we are only using half of the update. So the weapon changes, also the prices of the weapons have changed, but we are still using the old economy setup, the old faithful.
Yeah.
Not changing to the new one just yet. So 10-5, Hugo, can Big bring it back?
So we're going to rely on this pistol round, Tom. Without that, things can get very, very dicey. ENCE are already double the score of their opposition, but Big have a lot of utility. As per usual, it's Gob and Tizian, the nade throwers for the team. What do they have up their sleeve? We've already got Tizian going up towards that A bomb site to throw nades in through the roof, potentially, but the rest of Big setup outside this ramp play. So Gobby with his smoke in position could potentially just see this burst. With only one player there, X7, he may as well just back off after taking a couple of pot shots, because this is not an easy position to defend, and he realizes it, falls back down. Tabson's on the hunt here from behind, and look at the pace that Big is setting. They are already down on this lower bomb site. The rotations need to come in soon for ENCE.
Already spamming shots, but CT side unable to connect. Now Alexi B does have that trusty CZ in hand. You can see the temptation to make the spray, and he actually manages to find God B tapping through the smoke. Tabson's gonna go for attempt 2 of the bomb plant, and will be able to get that down at least. Nade going through won't achieve anything, and Tizian does still have a Molotov. Nex has caught one on the rotation. Sergey has to be careful because Tabson is just waiting around that corner, lurking in between, has to peek out. The Molotov from his teammate forces him to, but it's almost like a sort of peer pressure from your team as he finds 2 headshots they believed maybe he didn't. And while he's just doing all the work here, great round coming out from Tabson. Nex combines with him as well to finish things off, and it will at least be a 6th round.
And one key that you mentioned kind of in the previous half, right, we've had Smooya definitely drop off in performance this map. It has been very difficult to run that AWP again with ENCE not going towards a yard at all, and Smooya multiple rounds getting caught out by that vent dive. But Tabson, he hasn't dropped off. He's at 18 kills. He's top of the server after that round now, despite Big being, you know, half of the ENCE scoreline after that first half. So nice to see Tabson continue his performance. It's definitely going to be needed as we now have Big on this T side. Next as well, he had a great previous map, and he's a little bit slower here as well. So we're going to need some of these stars to shine through. For ENCE, just Eagles. No armor, no nades, not much chance. But they have got a triple stack down lower, and Big have sent all 5 players down into secret.
Got B, chance to make some money, but instead it's actually Sergey with the Deeg headshots to find a couple of kills back. Still got to be careful here because it's definitely not a round set in stone. Those Deagles can do damage, but Smooya thankfully will be there to save this German side. Alu now left alone. Has been pretty damn good in this map so far. Big obviously slowing things down to the point where they're waiting to see if he'll go pushing. But the fact is, it is going to be that B site plant. There's not really too much that the CT side will be able to do about that. Alu just hoping to maybe drop one more player, at least lose a rifle, cause them some financial burdens as we go forward. Because as basically what we saw in the previous half, you don't want to allow this T side to just build up cash. It took so long for Big to try and fight back versus the finances of ENCE that when it came down to it, what, I think it was 5 rounds in a row initially, then they won one and then they were instantly reset again because there was so much money on ENCE's side. Either way, they could go for some more Deagles here if they really wanted to on the ENCE side of things, but the fact is, I think they want that extra utility.
And the AWP as well. If you can pull that into the early CT side, Alu was managing to find a ridiculous amount of picks on the T side with it, so I can't even imagine how the CT side will be for that. We have Tabson on a P250, SMG on Gob. Big just holding on to a little bit of money when they can, but we've got this quad stack up in the garage here. I like how ENCE play these ecos. They always make sure they're grouped up and have this trade potential. They've found a 1-for-1. Certainly not a bad start. But again, the more kills the Big get, the less ENCE are stacked up and the less chance they have of converting the round. Next is dinged, but he does get away with just 16 points of health. A couple of players left on this site, but it shouldn't be too much of a task. There's only Aerial left, but they actually walked right past him. Oh,
he's going to be able to find one, but Tizian very quick to trade things out. I don't think Tabson's actually going to be able to retrieve that weapon, especially not if he's blocked by his teammate along the way. So that is going to be an extra AK hitting the deck and an extra bit of investment that has to come in over the next couple of rounds. CT side will now get their purchase in, so this is where we expect to see a wake-up from ENCE. And this could be the point where, well, if anything, we finally see what they can do on the CT side, because that's been the biggest problem so far for the majority of teams on this map, is just they haven't been able to convert rounds on the CT side, and when they have, they've been so close that they get reset.
On tactical pause before they go into the rifle round, Big want to make sure they know their execute. Again, a T-sided team as well, so while we've seen this strong start from ENCE on their T-side, it's not like Big won't be able to replicate this on a map that they are surely somewhat comfortable on. Gobby's still playing that SMG, and that is due to these rebuys. There's still a bit of money left up on this T side, but they probably want to save that for a rainy day in case ENCE manage to bounce back with this rifle round. AWP on Alu. He's got no armor behind it, though. He has got that one kit for the team. Gobby charging in through the smoke here. And again, Big, this is the normal T-side nuke that we expect to see, that we didn't see from ENCE, and Big are just showing us El Clasico here as they take control on Secret.
Look at Alu. He's just waiting patiently down in that lower position, but he doesn't have any armor. Got support from his teammate to at least slow them down in any sort of push, and it looks like he may go for a bit of a re-peek out of the vents. He is just ready and waiting. But the T's have decided, after spotting so much utility being thrown, they're going to switch it up, and Aerial may be about to come under pressure here. Flashbang going to leave him at least having to turn away, peek out. Tabson actually runs past for a second, but still manages to find that opening pick. Now, the T side, they've done all of the stuff that they've done so quickly within the first minute of the round. They still have plenty of time to play with.
Yeah, but X7 should be hearing these jumps. He should know they're up close, pre-aiming for players climbing on top of that railing, because it's a good off angle to take when you're re-peeking into this window, or this door, rather. But does the time he gets flashed off the angle. Gobby, nice kill from him, but he doesn't check below him, and Sergey actually drops a bomb to the side. Big are going to have to fall in to retrieve that, but Sergey finds a double before he eventually goes down. Alexibi's caught in the vents, and I don't think that's been broken either, which makes matters even more difficult. Alu not going to get the lottery today, and while that vent is broken, Alexibi wants nothing to do with that A-bomb site. Big have picked up 9 rounds here, and this is already the start that ENCE got on their T side, but replicated by that of the Germans. This can make things very difficult, as now ENCE will be, well, facing some severe economical crisis.
I honestly think that the only time I've seen Alexibi not have a straight face was when Frankie asked him what he wanted to say to Sonny after they beat them. That's the only time he laughed. Other than that, I've just seen he's got this deadpan look of just pure focus, just the whole time.
Alexi, did you expect to win that game?
They probably expect to win this map, but as of right now, things start to swing back further into the favor of Big. Obviously, this next round is going to be Alexi B alone with weaponry, and everybody else just with a few pistols, forcing up, obviously, the loss bonus now getting to the maximum. So, in all honesty, not going to be much of a chance for them to be ecoing in the next round. Alu will be able to bring in his trusty AWP, and that's where we could see a little bit more control held on outside, because in all honesty, so far the T's have just been running over them in that sort of position. They've been able to use their utility well to try and take control of that outer spot, and that's exactly what they're doing yet again, although this time it is just Gob B using the trusty MP7 once again.
Very slow default from Big. They may have control down on B, but X7 spotted it. Probably smoking off the left side. X7 going to go to the right. That is a ballsy push, but hey, it works out. Jumping through a smoke. The CZ will not get the better of the MP7 there. Now ENCE diminished by 1. We've got Ajude boosted up here on the ramp room, but Big are nowhere near this part of the map. They are still not fully committed to outside. This bomb is only just crossing past the red crate. Oh, okay. Alexi B just drops it out of nowhere, and he will get another chance to re-peek back in, but Tabson has retrieved it and should probably just not take that fight. There's only one rifle here for ENCE. There's no point fighting against it. Get rid of those pistol players. Get that bomb down instead. So Big going to be focusing on this lower site, but look at the rotation from ENCE. Everyone is here.
Sergey's been an absolute tank with this Deagle, so wouldn't be betting against him anytime soon. Nice shot already. Manages to ping the head off of Tabson, and God B slightly isolated now. Look at the clock. 20 seconds left on it. They've got to get their move on Smoo. You're going to be opening the doors and try and open up this round, but God B's actually gone down now as well, and it's fallen apart for Big. This was meant to be the round where they make money. Instead, it's where they make their mistakes. 10 seconds left on the clock. There's still a chance for Next to try and get this bomb down, but he's going to be spammed away. A fantastic round from the CT side, and they're going to bolster their economy tenfold.
Yeah, that's a half-buy win there. That's one where they're waiting for the max loss bonus to kick in. Instead, they get the win bonus, which is, if anything, lower, but still plenty of money. They're going to be just fine with that.
Oh, definitely worth it with all the weapons they picked up as well. That's what, like $400 less? It's not really that big a deal.
Yeah, I think they'll be all right with that. Big upgrade there for ENCE, and plenty of players kept alive. Of course, the problem will not be in Big's hand for the time being. They did get the first 4 rounds of the half, so money is okay for them now. And now God B calling in the pause, realizing the importance of this round in the sense of Big can reset this and put ENCE back down to at least a force buy, because it's likely ENCE would have the money to rebuy if they lost this, just due to that previous eco win.
Yeah, that's always the problem with losing a round to pistols. It's not necessarily the fact that you lost the round. It's the fact that most of the time your opponent is saving. And so that they already have about 2,000 in the bank, plus the extra money they get from winning the round, plus all the weapons that they steal from you, then it becomes a problem, because you basically set ENCE up now to be in a leading role in this CT side. You can see even after the purchase, there's still a couple of players with 3,000 plus, X7 just below that. Okay, yeah, they would still be struggling a little bit if they didn't manage to save any weapons.
But they would still buy.
Yeah. And well, the fact is here, that's if they lose the round. And well, that's a fantastic start from Aerial. Both players down, no smoke utilized to leave him isolated. Godby also completely blind here. ENCE looking to bounce back after a slow start to the second half, and they're definitely doing a good job of it. Godby hoping to try and catch one out. Instead, he's caught in the open, and now Tizian and Nex are in real trouble here.
And that was even a double peek from ENCE, one in the top of heaven, one peeking hell. And there was Aerial in the garage to bail them out if need be. So yeah, nice work from ENCE, making sure all their boxes are checked. We talk about this team having great fundamentals, and again, that's being proven. 12 rounds on the horizon here, Tom. And the question is, if Big lose this round, or more when Big lose this round, what the hell are they going to do with their money? So let's see what Nex and Tizian can do to try and bail them out. It would definitely be more favorable to buy if you can take some kills with you and force rebuys from ENCE as well.
Or if you could save the weapons.
Yeah,
They've got enough that they could drop 2 AKs. God B would have enough to buy. So keeping these AKs into the next round may actually be the better decision here. And by the looks of things, that's what they're going to do. The only problem with this is, of course, basically what you were saying. It's like, okay, yeah, if they take some kills with them, it's good. But if they don't, they're sort of just giving a massive amount of economy over towards ENCE, because they don't even have to rebuy that many nades.
Yeah.
They've still got, like, incendiaries. They've still got a few smokes, HEs. Like, they really don't have to rebuy that much. They've got 4 AKs.
We're going to have players on $6,000 or $7,000 after the buy in the next round for ENCE. And take into account, that's their second round won, Tom. They lost the first 4 opening rounds to the CT side. Now they've won 2, and look at the cash for ENCE. They are rolling in it. They're Scrooge McDuck with the pile of coins. 12-9 here for ENCE. But Tom, the big worrying factor is until ENCE close this game, it's not ENCE's game. They lost a 15-11 lead on Overpass just moments ago. And that works both ways. Big are aware that, okay, we may be down, but we are not out by any means. So another rifle round coming in from Big. Guns dropped over. But again, no AWP for either side. ENCE have the money for it, but of course not going to force a rebuy when they kept 5 players alive, and Big don't exactly have the money for that. do have Godby all the way outside, and now these cross smokes are coming through. Or cross smoke. There's the second one. That'll land. Bit of a Molotov there from ENCE, and that's going to completely cut off the push. Okay, no, it's not, because it's far too deep.
Still does a small amount of damage onto tabseN, but they have managed to take some control. aleXiB just holding on the pixel angle to try and gain a little bit of presence. He will take half of his health back, but the T's not really willing to challenge. They may have jumped through the smoke last time and found a kill, but not going to try that again. I feel like the CT side are going to be much more aware. Now, in terms of where the T's are actually going, well, it seems like they don't even know at this point.
Maybe setting up for this A execute, or A fake more like. But this bomb can always wrap back up the top side of Secret and split in through main. That's very common to see. tabseN could even go for this vent split later, or try and catch these rotations, because you know aleXiB's down here. aleXiB's going to have to rotate back up towards A eventually, so if tabseN can either stop that or kill him in the process, that would be massively beneficial to Big. Where will they commit, though? This bomb is still down lower. They're not looking at the vents right now. They are looking for this B-site execute. So despite these players on T-roof setting up nades, they've now gone in through the ramp. 25 seconds on the clock here for Big. They've got to hurry up. They are going to run out of time once again. X7 mollied out, but he's still going to get a frag for it and a lot of damage to Nex. 17 seconds now. Big are just simply running out of time. They've barely cleared the site, and now the bomb's been dropped. That's got to be the round. It's over here for Big. There's just no time for retrieval. I don't think Alu's even killed another player, and the bomb's been picked up, but it's certainly not going down.
Yeah, too little, too late for Big, as it will be a 13th round on the board. And now their economy is going to be in real trouble, as they don't really have the money to purchase here. And while they have the saved AK-47, but it's definitely not an ideal position. I believe it's tabseN with that in hand at least, so he'll have a chance to do some damage going into the next round. But for Big, they now are with their backs up against the wall. And this all started based off that pistol victory. After that point, things have just not gone the Germans' way.
And now it is the fourth. Now the money is an issue for Big, surprisingly enough. Again, no AWP even needed here. That's the problem. This is kind of what we saw from, if you remember, Yugi playing up against, I think it was Mao Sports just the other day on the Swiss. He was on the AWP on the CT side, but he just wasn't able to get any kills. And a lot of that was due to these cross smokes. Now that teams just regularly go for these outside plays, it's so hard to even find AWP kills because no one's willing to take that fight as a terrorist, and people just stop buying it on the T side. Aerial, that's the bomb. He gets a package delivered right to his doorstep. Talk about Amazon Prime. They're going to go right back out again, and Aerial's found himself a second before Godby eventually fires down from the heavens. Still, that package is in the hands of ENCE, and aleXiB going to continue holding on to it like, oh, Nex!
Oh, next victim, please. It will be X7 and Sergey looking to clean things up, and Smooya's going to hit the deck as well. It will be 14-9, and money just not really there once again for Big. They've been left in a pretty horrific situation, obviously forcing that one up in an attempt to break back. Instead, well, it looks like they're the ones who are broken. The third map definitely seems to be on the cards. Of course, same odds again.
It was the start of the first map. Those are not live odds.
But you can trick them out at least.
Yeah, I mean, Big are just forcing till this map's over at this point, I think. Look at the buy. Another rifle round for ENCE, of course. And Big, an AK and 4 pistols. We haven't had anyone shine through in this T side. tabseN had a few nice early starting rounds, but no one has joined him, and that's the problem. In the previous map, we had Nex fragging, we had Smooya fragging, Godby had some incredible rounds, Tizian had that 1-on-4 clutch on the B bomb site. And right now, it just seems silent for Big. Again, talking about the inconsistencies of Nex, we've sadly not had him, you know, while he's second on the scoreboard, he's pretty far below that of his teammates, or top teammate tabseN. At least he has the AK here, so it could be a chance to open things up, but ENCE are looking roaring and ready to head to the train yard. Big setting up for what seems to be an A execute with tabseN again down in this B side, just trying to keep aleXiB at bay. The Molotov will do that in response. And here's where the rotate can come out. And this is actually where tabseN can backstab aleXiB, so keep your eyes on him.
Already 45 seconds left on the clock. It will be a quick trade. And they do manage to get themselves in towards this B site. Rotation is coming in, and I believe there may be a man up above they've got to be careful for. Yeah. Bomb will be dropped, and X7 has done the damage. tabseN will be there to trade with the Tech-9. Looking for a little bit more aggression, but Alu's waiting. The Tech-9 will absolutely obliterate him, though. However, tabseN doesn't have the bomb, and he doesn't have much time to do anything with it. The CT side will peek together, and that's a 15th. That's map point, a third. looking inevitable.
Yeah, this is a fantastic map from ENCE as well. While we saw a comeback in the previous from 15-11, I'm somewhat doubting this from Big.
Nah.
They've looked a bit stale in these past few rounds. That's now 5 in a row for ENCE. I mean, it's not like Big didn't set themselves up for success in the second half by taking the pistol and conversions. But now it is just 4 rifles and an MP5. Aerial, look at this aggression as well. He's all the way out into the yard. tabseN does get that first pickup, and although some damage goes the way of 2 of these Ts on the big side, they're still going to make their way down into the B site. ative again cutting it off with the smoke. He has just been a nuisance here. And Sergey, he's going to drop Tizian in the meantime, coming through that hut. So Big at least equalized back into a 4-on-4 with damage done to both sides.
Alu looking like he's going to be isolated here. He does manage to find one, looks for the head of God B, but won't be able to find it. X7 looking around the corner, but God B is taking names in this round. It's left onto Sergey and ative, but the bomb is still down in the spawn. I feel like Sergey's not going to push that aggressively, but if they do go back through the lobby, they may walk into the youngster, or he may walk into his opponents. It looks like he's just going to round the corner. It's almost like threading the needle at this point as Nex goes round, and every corner that Sergey passes, he's not quite meeting his opponent. The fact is, it's all going to come down to timing. If he can drop this bomb, it could make things a little bit more difficult for his opponents. But again, it's like the rounding of the corners, but there we go. 2 quick kills for Sergey, and now Smooya's left to try and save this for his team. And Sergey knows it's all about timing. If he can just burn this clock down, that will be enough for his teammate to help him win the round. He's going to hear Smooya running around, and he has absolutely no clue where Sergey has gone. And in the end, ative will close it. A nice little round from Sergey, and a much better performance from what we saw in the first map from ENCE. And while, of course, as expected, this is going to a third.
Yeah, the train finally coming up in that 3rd and final map of this series. And I mean, it is open season right now. I have no idea where this one is going. We saw Big with a monumental match versus Mousesports to get out of this Swiss group stage 3-2. An overtime game back there, and I wouldn't be surprised if we saw the same story. But let's not pretend that ENCE are not prepared coming into train. This is in fact their highest win percentage map, and that will be the last one of this best of 3. I mean, it's very open now for the taking, Tom, and I'm glad to see ENCE at least bounce back after a bit of a shaky end to Overpass, and we were very worried about whether they would be able to mentally reset coming into Nuke.
Well, yeah, now you kind of look at it from ENCE's point of view and you say, okay, we won our map convincingly. We probably should have taken theirs. Now we go into map that we're even more comfortable on. This should be theirs. And especially for Sergey, whenever I've watched him play this map, whether it was on Havu or anyone, he has always been good at this map. So I think that's going to be a scary prospect when it comes down to the big side. That being said, tabseN and Smooya were excellent on it in the game versus Mousesports. So if there's going to be the sort of battle where this should be ending, I think Train is definitely the place.
Yeah, one awakening, though, is Alu, right? 22 kills in that previous map. Now we head to Orpus Paradise. But before that, we head to the Desk Paradise. It is James over with the boys.
It certainly is a paradise situation there for ENCE. 16-9 on their pick, and they'll probably be kicking themselves about Overpass, but it did not affect them, and now it's time for Train. We're seeing a good performance come out across the board there for the ENCE guys, right? They certainly didn't hold back when they got onto their choice.
Yeah, and it's 2 maps in a row now. We've seen Big fall down 0-5 to start the game. This time they obviously weren't able to come through. It looked like they maybe had the potential to run away with things on that second half, but when they lost that eco in the lower bomb side, it was all over at that point. It was a lot like I said in the early segment, is they're good at setting themselves up on Nuke, but I find that their entries into the bomb sites are very lackluster for a team that uses utility so well.
Well, the kill disparity was just insane, though, right? tabseN on 25, and then Nex 14, God B 13, and it just went further down from there. And we saw them be able to pretty much all heavy hit when it was on overpass. But going into Nuke, Jacob, this did not happen.
No, and I feel like everything Sean said, in the previous segment basically got cursed. What Sean wanted to see was, he wanted to see the individuals shine up, right? Tapson was the only one showing up during this new game. You wanted to see, and you didn't necessarily believe in ENCE, and the youngsters were able to forget that overpass game. Yeah. That happened. So I feel ENCE were doing a super, super good job of just playing their own game here, just forgetting about overpass and playing to their own strength. Also, Sergey, once again, you wanted to see more from him, and you got that as well. He had a good game as well, finishing out the game as well with a nice 2K. So all these youngsters and all these, not even sure if they're that young even, but all these inexperienced players from ENCE were just, putting shame to our mouth and just showing you how to play Counter-Strike and how to forget about a overpass map that should have gone their way.
And this is the thing, right? They certainly did forget about everything that happened on overpass and just played their game here. We speak about how kind of non-emotional the Finnish players are. Well, they just showed pure stone cold killing. They were faces of steel set across the board here to close this one out. And even when Big were able to get a few rounds in a row, right, you never really felt like they had a chance in this game.
Yeah, like you said, Big never really could find their footing. Early in that first half, it was looking very bleak for them. I think they actually lost the first gun round, and then they saved a bunch of guns, so they had a second gun round, which they lost as well. And it wasn't until they won an eco, and then that weird scenario where Smooya killed Alu after, or Smooya allowed, I think maybe Tapson or someone, to kill Alu after the time, and they walked away
that
from
weird knife.
Yeah, it was like a weird end to a round. And then the end of the half, we saw X7 win that 1-on-2 with 1 HP. I mean, there was never really a moment other than, like I said, that second round eco, or the second half eco lost by Big. They weren't really in this game.
Now looking at what we saw from the ENCE lineup, right? Alu was on point. He was getting his shots in. We were seeing a much better Alu than what we saw on the first map. And then Sergey, who was pretty much missing for the majority of overpass, he stepped it back up. Now we speak about the impotence map that we brought onto the desk before, right? Could that have just been his for overpass before we head into train now?
Probably. I mean, he's 16 years old, right? So you can't expect him to deliver at the same high level at all times.
Agreed.
It's fair enough just to have one of those games where it's not playing for you, where you're maybe making those split decisions a little bit too late, or you're taking the wrong decisions in a game. So he'll learn by that, and he'll definitely gain experience. Good for him that he's able, again, to revert it, basically, and just forget about that one map, go into Nuke and be a dominant factor. Goes for the entire ENCE team. I feel none of these players have been falling out completely. All the players are contributing to this ENCE lineup. And as much as we praise Big for playing a team game, I think we should do the same for ENCE, because they are, approaching the game in the exact same way. They're trying to play off each other, they try to trade with each other, and they try to have this strategical approach to the game, which I find super, super fascinating, especially considering these guys are from Finland, which normally is not a country you sort of like expect that kind of play from. So overall, I'm so far so impressed by ENCE, and I'm looking super much forward to train now, because I think they have a legit good chance of winning this game.
And the thing is, you see the people on your screen there, both Alu and Smooya. Okay, the AWPs didn't really get going on a massive potential here on Nuke. But someone like Smooya should have been able to at least make it work, right? CT side, play it from rafters, but obviously he wasn't able to buy into it as much. That was the main difficulty here.
Yeah, Smooya is definitely getting outplayed by Alu right now. Alu's not afraid to take peeks. He definitely has the balls, as we've seen.
Various places.
Various places we've
Quite
seen those come out.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's playing really well. Smooya, we called him out after that first map, even though his stats looked like he had a good game. He didn't really pass the eye test when you watched that first map. He's been missing a lot of shots, and that carried into this Nuke map. Now, he's struggled on Nuke in the past. Obviously, that's one of the reasons why I think Big isn't super strong on the map.
Yep.
Train, on the other hand, this third map, that's where he's had his money performances.
But training for both teams, right? We say about it, they can play it across the board. But ENCE, just their results, just the statistics, they look incredible on it. Admittedly, against lower opposition, but let's see what they can do this time around.
You see it on your screens right now. They haven't lost the 5 times they lately played it. And again, not against the top tier opponents. Optic is definitely a great win. Imperial as well, very good team. But the rest of them are not necessarily top teams. Whereas for Big, it's a little bit more uncertain where we find them. Obviously, losing to North on train is not a bad thing. Losing to Australis, that's expected. Winning against Mousebots, wouldn't say expected. But again, it's tough opposition they have. So I'm looking forward to see how well they can play on this map. And as you said, I think Smooya is going to be the big question mark now. We know what next is going to come with it. It's either going to be a blast out performance or a poor performance. Like, there's no consistency with this guy. But for Smooya, we need to see him play well. We need to see him go toe-to-toe with Alu if they want any chance of winning this one. Because Sergey is also a pretty good train player.
Yeah, Sergey was holding down the inner bomb site. I particularly remember, I think, a 4K he had with 1 clip playing behind Pop Dog. And I would look up for him on CT side of ENCE, and then I would look up for, like Jacob said, Smooya opping outside, particularly by like Ivy around that 6 train area. He's really locked down. We saw him pick up the auto sniper by accident, but maybe he should go back to it because he was locking things down yesterday.
Do you think we'll see the Doom Hammer come out, Sean?
I would love to see the Doom Hammer come out because people do not like the Doom Hammer.
I love
Just to tilt them, just to like, yeah, let's go. Let's make that horrible noise and let's see what we can wreck some Finnish players with. Now, looking at what we expect to see from Train, right? We saw Big have a phenomenal game against Mouse, but they almost let it slip away, right? I think that was our biggest criticism of them. Yeah. So against a team like ENCE, surely they won't be able to get away with that.
I don't think so. I don't think they're going to get off to a same strong start. I think ENCE is just too two-dimensional, basically, in the way they play. They can play a good CT side, but they can also perform well on the T side. So it should be one of those brawl games where we go back and forth, and both teams are going to have some trouble with picking up the consecutive rounds win. That said, though, I'm looking super much forward to it. I think Alo has a good chance of showing Smooya who's the better AVP player here, and I think Smooya has a good chance of reclaiming his status as the Red King if he wants to.
Now, one final question I had for you guys before we wrap this up is, do we feel like, because obviously Tabson, he still managed to perform to the level we expect and we get to know him to be able to perform at, but do we think some of the other players in Big maybe spent too much energy early on that overpass game just to take it over the line here and they've kind of slowed down too much now?
I've never been one to really blame, the mental